the day. I thought the hitter saw the ball better.
Really?
Yeah. I like the nighttime.
I couldn't see at night because of my vision. I like pitching in the day.
Go figure. My ERA is better in the day, though.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Willie Harris, who's batting leadoff tonight, takes a strike. And, of course, with Jeremy Guthrie, the important inning. You could probably say this about every pitcher, but especially Guthrie, the important inning is the first inning. And the breaking ball down and in, 1-1 on Harris.
There's Willie Harris from Cairo, Georgia, excuse me, by the Orioles in the '99 draft. He's been around for a long time. He can do everything, play every position except maybe pitch. Very versatile player.
And again, he came up as an Oriole, and Jim, you did the interview with him where actually he played what, second base, and Brian Roberts played shortstop.
Hard hit ball, there's a base hit in the right field. Yeah, they were both drafted in '99. Brian was a supplemental pick, and Willie went in the 24th round, and they were both assigned to Delmarva. Brian played shortstop, and Willie at second base. And speaking of defense, here's the defense behind Jeremy Guthrie.
Well, Reimold, who made a great throw last night, is in left. Jones can go get him. Markakis leading the American League with 8 assists in right. Amora and Dino, who is subbing for Historis, who's played terrific shortstop. Roberts, Huff, and then the veteran Greg Zahn is Matt Wieters, at least initially, will get the night off.
Toss to first. Willie has blazing speed, 6 steals on the year. He's been caught only once.
Yeah, you don't run a whole lot on Guthrie. I'm not sure that that'll be the case here because you want to try to get some runs on the board, and as you mentioned in the opening, you want to try to do it early. Make it at least a little bit better for a young, Martis is what, 21 years old?
Yeah, he's 21, 22 years old, and like I said in the open, he hasn't won in 6 weeks. And it would be nice to take a little pressure off of him tonight, get a couple of runs or at least one run across early.
There's a pitch of Denise for a strike, and Christian Guzman batting at .333. He is tied for 8th in the National League in base hits, 5th in batting. And the thing about Guzman that I really like is regardless of if he's up there right or left, he really slaps the ball and uses the entire field.
Well, that's what I love about him. He doesn't overswing. He doesn't do too much. He knows he knows his limitations. So he tries to just put the ball in play, use his speed, and I think a lot of hitters could learn from a guy like Christian Guzman. The more you put it in play, you put pressure on the defense, you use your speed, guys throw balls away, and that's what he's been doing all year and most of his career.
And then last year he had a home run off of Jeremy Guthrie, tried to come up and in, and didn't settle for just giving him a single, which he does so well. Tried to come up and in, and he took him to right center field.
Well, that night, a couple of nights ago against the Red Sox to put the game on ice, he came up in a situation with runners on, first and second, I think 1 out, and he hit a triple. And he hit it into the gap. I mean, he won't do anything that's unexpected. He'll be a good situational guy right here. He's probably going to try and hit and run in between first and second.
Count even 2-2. Quick toss to first, but Harris diving back in.
Yeah, they've only attempted 4 steals all year long. And when you look at Jeremy Guthrie, a lot of starts, snap, throw, just hold it. And again, it's 2-2. If you go to 3-2, then you know Harris is running. I don't know if it's the case here, 2-2. Maybe you don't want to take away that hole.
He doesn't go, and there's a ball hit the center field. Adam Jones will play it on a hop. So here come the Nats, back-to-back singles to begin the first inning.
Yeah, you saw it right there on that swing. That was about a half a swing, kind of like a Bodor slapping the water, and that's all he does.
And again, I look at so many guys that overswing, and this is not one of them. And I'm impressed. Last year, looked like he was on his way to getting 200 hits. We ended up with, 183. And as Jim said, when you can switch hit, his uncle taught him how to switch hit when he was young. Breaking balls always coming to you.
A guy that has killed us from the Mets is Luis Castillo, who's having a great year with the Mets. All he does is slap the ball, hit it on the ground. A lot of younger players with speed should learn from a guy like Christian Guzman.
Here's Ryan Zimmerman, the third baseman, and the heart and soul of this Nationals franchise.
We saw Corey Patterson. He used to be with the Orioles, Cubs, Cincinnati Reds. Tremendous speed, amazing speed, can play outfield, but his on-base percentage is under 300 career. He overswings. He tries to hit home runs, and I think sometimes when you hit a lot of home runs as a young hitter, it messes you up mentally. You forget your limitations. You don't need to be the cleanup hitter when you're hitting at the top of the order.
When Corey was here, we often marveled why he didn't understand that bunting was legal, because he was so fast and take advantage of that. But like you said, he had that big uppercut swing. He was just enamored with home runs.
We just saw him. He just came back up for us for about a week and did the same thing, over swinging.
You saw the numbers, 1 for 9. Guzman was 2 for 10. So again, if you're looking at numbers, you can throw them out the window, especially in the first inning. I mean, I know you were a reliever, Rob, but I always felt, again, you come out, it is twilight. Hitters don't pick up the ball as well as they will in about an hour and a half. But again, your stuff could be great in the bullpen, and you never ever know how it's going to translate once you get out on the mound.
3-0. He takes a strike, does Zimmerman.
Well, I always feel the first inning, the 5th inning, and the 9th inning are the 3 toughest innings of a ball game for pitchers. And I think the first inning, you might come out, and you could talk about this, coming out and you don't have your best stuff, or you had a bad warm up, and psychologically you're battling yourself instead of the hitters.
And it's outside, ball 4. So the bases are loaded and still nobody out.
Well, we saw last night what did in the Washington Nationals was the big inning, the 8-run 6th inning. And of course, until then it was what, 3-1, and the Orioles are only up a couple of runs, and then all of a sudden the Orioles put 6 singles, couple of walks, and the game is out of reach.
All right, if you were in this situation, Jim, would you switch your game plan immediately to try to reduce the damage right here?
Oh, of course. And I think the good news and the bad news about Adam Dunn is, you know, with one swing it can be a grand slam. Now the Orioles know that because he did it when the Orioles were in Washington. The other side of the coin, double play, strikes out a lot. Now he's a good high on base percentage. So there's a lot of bad things that can happen. But if a pitcher and you're trying to minimize damage, there's some good things too. But again, you're going to see, and Greg Zahn talks about it, that Jeremy Guthrie, he's 96 on the radar gun, but he doesn't command his fastball. Dave Tremblay talks about it early on, because I think he comes out, he's all pumped up, adrenaline rushing, and he's an overthrower early in the game. The numbers support that.
1-1 is inside, ball 2.
Well, you can see right now he's not even picking up his target. He's just overthrowing, not picking up zone, looking at the guy at second, and his head's flying all over the place.
And that's what he do. That's what really usually happens when you overthrow. And you could see the numbers right there a lot higher early on, again, because I think he just tries to maybe get a little bit more radar gun conscious. And right there, curveball, 2-1.
Greg Zahn's going to go out and talk to Guthrie. Nowhere to put Adam Dunn. 3-1 the count, so Dunn can really sit on a pitch here.
Well, he's going to do that, but at some point, and we can look at the windup, and it's pretty simple. And again, this is a breaking ball, so the head doesn't jerk as much. You have to trust your stuff. And right here, you have to throw the ball for the middle of the plate and hope it doesn't end there. And he's been trying to make good pitches that are not going where he wants to. So take your chances.
Get on the same page here with what they want to throw. Got to have good communication with your battery mate.
What did we talk about last night? The Adam ball?
The Adam ball.
Now, you know, the Nationals, obviously, they want Dunn to either walk, get a base hit, maybe hit a home run. And the Orioles are looking for an Adam ball, maybe a pop-up or a strikeout. And one thing about Dunn, he doesn't get cheated.
No, but he's very patient.
Yep.
Here's the 3-1. It's inside, ball 4. And there's a bases-loaded walk, and the Nationals grab a 1-0 lead, and still nobody out. 2 hits and back-to-back walks.
Yeah, very close. And again, and you can see pulled off the outside corner, even though it's tried to be nicely framed.
So the Nationals get on the board, so they get Martis a lead before he takes the mound, as Willie Harris led off with a single and comes around to score.
Yeah, another difficulty is that Josh Willingham's going to step to the plate. Everybody knows, including Jeremy Guthrie, that this guy can hit the fastball. We saw that last night. Ferguson got in trouble in the second. Willingham got a base hit to left field on a 2-0 fastball. He had a grand slam against the Orioles in the exhibition game right before the start of the season. But you're out there. I mean, you're pretty defenseless. You can't get your breaking ball over. Your fastball's not going where you want.
Well, when he's throwing the breaking ball, he's throwing his out pitch breaking ball down in the zone. Hitters aren't going to swing at that, so you have to just lay it in there. And like you said, trust your stuff. Trust that the hitter is going to make an out, and he's going to get himself out.
And when he did get ahead of Willie Harris 1-2, he didn't make a good pitch with his breaking ball, and he singled in the right field to start this.
Pitch down and away. Nicely scooped by Zahn.
17 home runs. That is tied for the American League lead. And we talked about you want to eat sliders, don't hang them.
Is there a reason why Zahn's catching Guthrie tonight?
No.
Okay.
I think the fact Jim, you were talking about, Wieters has caught 10 of the last 11.
Yeah, 9 of the last 10 games, and Zahn has not caught since last Saturday in Philadelphia. So you got to get him in there. And
well, I'm just thinking maybe he's a little bit older. He's a veteran guy. Maybe he can try to calm down Guthrie if he gets in a jam like he is right now.
Yeah, he's in a big one here, 1-2 on Willingham, so he gets ahead of another batter. Orioles have the infield playing for 2. They'll allow another run to score if they get that. Check swing, strike 3 is called on the inside corner. So there's the first out on a called strikeout by Willingham.
I'll take a look right here. Did it get the inside corner? Only Doug Eddings thought so. Home plate umpire.
So 1 out in the inning. Let's head downstairs and welcome in Debbie Taylor.
Thank you very much. Now, Josh Bard is hitting .385 with runners in scoring position. That's tops on the Nats. And he told me today that he credits former Oriole and his former San Diego Padres hitting coach, Merv Rettenman, for giving him the proper mindset with runners on base.
All right, Debbie, thank you very much.
When nobody's on, you feel like you have to hit a double or, drive a ball. But he said, like, when a guy's in runners in scoring position, just hit a single. And he said, just stay through the middle of the field. Don't try to do too much. And I think that's helped me to really zone pitchers up. And just remember that when runners are in scoring position, the pressure's on them. It's not on me. So, a lot of it's just mindset.
Bard is hitting .400 for the month of June, and he said it's his work with Rick Eckstein that's helped him as far as his batting average goes. And Rick said he's got a great routine. He's simplified his approach at the plate, and he's shortened his swing, which is very difficult to do at the big league level.
All right, Debbie, thank you. And Bard at the plate here with a count of 1-1.
Yeah, well, he drove in their only run last night with a nice at bat, single to left field off of Brad Bergeson.
And the more he catches, the more reps he gets at the plate. We really see the offense coming out of Bard now. But he's also, like I said last night, calling better games. Defensively, he's gotten better throwing people out. So every part of his game has gotten better the more he's behind the plate.
2-1 is fouled back, 2-2.
Josh Bard has been hitting the ball the other way. Maybe he's been watching Nick Johnson an awful lot, but when he's had to hit for power, he's driven the ball into the gaps and hit a couple of home runs. He's the only guy with a couple of hits last night. You see him in the last 6 games. He's been on fire. So right now it's hard for Manny Acta to get him out of the lineup.
So 1 run in, bases still loaded with 1 down, and 2-2 on Bard. And he fouls it back. Guthrie has 5 wins on the year, 3 here at Camden Yards, 2 on the road, and his ERA is dramatically better here at home. 3 runs a game less.
Yeah, he really mirrors the Oriole pitching staff. I mean, they're down in the low 4s. He's even lower than that at home, and that's why they're 5 games over 500. And then the team ERA, very much like the Nationals, over 6 runs a game on the road.
Foul off his foot.
Now that's an awfully good pitch right there, the changeup. You normally expect to maybe get a guy to roll over. I think the one thing, and I threw a changeup and I learned it. That's pitch in one day, and I had Dick McCall, who's one of the 7 guys that the Tigers had that hit 20 home runs, and I threw him a 2-0 changeup, fastball count. He hit a 1 hopper back to me, and I said, boy, this is a pretty good pitch. But his changeup at 87. A lot of guys' fastball is 87. So it's not a whole lot of separation between that and
not a lot of differential. Yeah. How can he work on that?
Well, I think it's just the way your grip is. But again, I think if you're an adrenaline type guy where you have a tendency to overthrow and it's tough. Again, if the radar gun was your only litmus test, he wouldn't be 5-7 with an ERA of 5 runs a game. It's about making quality pitches, and you can just watch tonight, watch Greg Zahn's glove and see where the ball goes. Can he get it in those areas?
So another 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded. This one to Josh Bard. And he fouls it off. So battle here, and Dave Tremblay before the game in his pregame press conference talking about Guthrie early on. He said the one thing he was hoping to see tonight was Guthrie to avoid a very high pitch count early on. Yeah. And he's already fallen into that.
Well, Steve McCaddy talked about the fact that the Nationals pitchers threw 62 pitches in that 6th inning yesterday.
Another 3-2 is high, ball 4, and another bases-loaded walk.
And that was his 32nd pitch of the first inning. Johan Santana, when he faced the Nationals up in New York, we got him to throw 41 pitches in 1 inning. So this is a very patient Nationals lineup.
Well, you have a guy that only walked 25 coming into the game in almost 87 innings. And already 3 here in the first. And again, a changeup, 3-2 changeup, 2-1 breaking ball.
Our guy last night had trouble pitching on the road. His ERA is enormous on the road.
Over 8 runs a game. Yeah.
How do you teach young kids to get over the sold-out crowd in somebody else's house?
Well, I really never thought about that, to be quite honest. But then again, I had the luxury of rooming with Robin Roberts when I was 19, having veteran pitchers that kind of led the way. And that is the problem, not only for the Orioles, but also for the Nationals.
We don't have a lot of veterans. Our oldest guy in our rotation's got 50-plus starts. He's 25 years old.
2-0 on Ronnie Belliard. Now here's a guy, I mean, obviously you got to go right at him, but he's only walked 5 times.
Well, but this is a free swinger.
Watch this helicopter swing.
Guzman is another guy that I think he's got 2 walks on the year.
There's a strike, 2-1. And already bullpen activity as Brian Bass begins to get loose.
Well, the last thing Dave Tremblay wants to do as the Oriole manager is relieve Jeremy Guthrie, but he's putting him in a pretty awkward position where you have to get somebody up.
Fastball's high, ball 3. The 2 balls put in play began the inning, back-to-back singles. Since then, 3 walks and a called strike 3. And now 3-1 on Belliard. Sharply hit foul.
And we see Guthrie working from the windup. Is that because he's uncomfortable in the stretch? Is that because he thinks he's got better stuff from the windup?
I think he's a starting pitcher, and he doesn't think that the runner at third is going to steal with Zimmerman, and he's just struggling to throw a strike here. And again, I mean, I've been out there where you lose your command, your release point, and you just hope somebody hits something. And he's made some good pitches, but to the credit of the Nationals, and sometimes you have those games, especially as a starter, where you make the good pitches and they just foul them off.
Oh, Bard fouled off a good changeup. I mean, yeah.
And you get deeper in the count, and then you can't execute your pitches, and all of a sudden it's kind of like a merry-go-round. Look at those numbers. And this guy can swing the bat. Maybe not this year, but in years past. Hitting's never been a problem.
3-2 pitch is hit toward shortstop. Andino to second one. Roberts back to first. There's a double play. And Guthrie gets out of it very inexpensively. Nats get 2. We head to the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Orioles in this game. Brian Roberts, Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis, who was on fire. Aubrey Huff, Nolan Reimold, and Luke Scott. Melvin Moore last night, 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs. Melvin really starting to break out of it now. Greg Zahn catching, batting 8th. Robert Andino, the shortstop, bats 9th.
Let's give you the PNC Bank scouting report. He's got to cut down on the walks. 19 walks since he won that last game in the middle of May. It's turned into 30 runs over that time, and he really needs to attack the strike zone and relax out there because he's got to get ahead to get to his out pitch, which is his changeup.
Chiron Martis out of Curacao, just 22 years old, as Jim and Rob talked about. Signed very young. Here's Roberts. And first ball swinging, pops it foul down the left side. Willingham a long run, foul ground, gets there, and he makes the catch. Willingham just sticking the glove out, and it came down. So Roberts on one pitch is retired and one away.
A big breeze here at Camden Yards. We couldn't figure out on the field how it was blowing. And again, the Tartan turf here, warning track.
Well, Adam Jones, Jim, last night looking for the breakout game, and he got it.
Well, he certainly did. Started it off with a double. I mean, he ends up with, what, a single, double, and a triple. The at-bat he had against Hanrahan, that slider that he poked into right field, part of that 8-run sixth inning. So there you go. You can look at the numbers. I mean, he was only hitting 203 for the month of June till last night. But again, having a terrific year for a kid about to turn 24 years old in August.
I once asked Pete Rose if he ever changed his hitting approach or style or even his batting stance, and he said no.
It's like Wade Boggs, right?
Yeah, he said I knew I'd go through slumps, but he said I knew I'd hit my way out of slumps, so he didn't change a thing.
What did he get, 4,300 plus hits?
Yeah.
Jones swings through it
for him.
Why would you ever be in a slump? What, he had about 11 or 12 200 hit seasons? I mean, Wade Boggs used to say, I'm not in a slump, I'm in a period of adjustment.
Bouncer towards the middle, and it squirts on through for a base hit. So Adam Jones, 3 hits last night, gets on base here with 1 down in the first inning.
Well, here's the Nationals defense. You got Willie Harris in center field, Josh Willingham in left field. Austin Kearns is getting the start in right field. He's a very good outfielder with a fantastic arm. You got Alberto Gonzalez at short, Zimmerman at third, Belliard at second, Dunn at first. Chiron Martis will be throwing to Josh Bard tonight. As we told you, 22 years old. He's got less than 20 starts at the major league level.
Yeah, I had him at 21. He's 22.
He's old.
He's an old man.
Sorry.
Here's Markakis. There's a strike.
Yeah, and you look at his numbers. I mean, I'm looking at his numbers today, Rob, and I'm going, well, he must get run support because he's 5-2 with an ERA over 5 runs a game. But, you know, lefties hit him pretty well. Righties, Jones, righties. They're only hitting 173 coming into the game with a couple of 3 home runs.
Well, you see that his changeup and his running fastball go in on right-handers and away from lefties. But sometimes he leaves that changeup up almost if he gets nervous. And in 3 at-bats in a row to Ryan Howard in 2 games, he gave up a grand slam, a home run, and a grand slam. So it's
so the home runs come at bad times.
Yeah, but and he gave up some to Ibanez against the Phillies. It's more so, you know what? You hit the nail on the head. You have to trust your stuff. You have to be able to say, I'm going to throw this changeup. It's going to dive out of the zone. You're either going to hit a ground ball or miss it.
2-1 on Markakis. Jones back.
Well, don't you think and I think the Orioles went through that in the late 80s when they hit about 209 home runs and gave up 215. What happens is if you don't have a good defense, and they're not a great defensive club, they have more defense. You start not pitching to contact. You want to strike guys out, and you're not a strikeout pitcher.
High fly ball to center field. Willie Harris is right there. Backs up a step or 2 now, has it for the out. Jones halfway back to first, 2 down.
And that was a very good fastball that ran away from him. And he has to trust the fastball so he's got a good breaking ball, excellent changeup, but a lot of times he falls behind and then he'll throw that fastball, which is not overpowering, right down the middle of the plate.
Another nice crowd here for this interleague game as the Orioles welcome in their rivals from the south, and here is Aubrey Huff.
Well, just think about the weather change. The humidity went away. If you had weather like this, everybody would want to live in Baltimore and in the Washington Metroplex.
There's the 1-0. It's off the plate outside.
You were probably up early out on the farm today, Jim.
Oh, absolutely.
Picking blueberries.
No, I get those shipped in from New Jersey. No, you know what I was marveling at today? There was a little garden snake in the garden.
Really?
Yeah. I love nature.
Don't kill it.
No, absolutely. I was just trying to keep my dogs away from it.
Well, ever since our president took care of a fly, there's a message to be learned there.
Mm-hmm. See, when you live up in the
country.
Yeah, the country, those kind of things are good. And there's a walk, so Aubrey Huff is on. And the Orioles have 2 on and 2 down. Let's head downstairs and welcome in Amber.
Well, Jim, Nolan Reimold back in the 5th spot tonight. He went 3 for 4 there last night, and he told me it's where he feels comfortable. That's where he batted in the minor leagues. And Dave Tremblay said realistically he could have been bumped up to the 5th spot about a month ago, but he didn't want to overload the rookie with too much too soon. But Terry Crowley told me that Nolan does things that rookies don't do at the plate. He's a power hitter, but he doesn't free swing. He shows discipline. He can draw walks. He can hit to the right side of the field. And Dave Tremblay said that he credits his ability to listen and also his humble nature with why he's been able to learn so fast and develop so quickly here in the big leagues. Jim?
All right, Amber, thank you very much. And you see he's 4 out of his last 8. 8 home runs on the year. He hit 9 in AAA before his call-up in mid-May. Joined the team in Kansas City. Now in his 39th big league game. And moving up to number 5, more responsibility. He's got a good batting eye, as you see there, 2-0.
Well, the great thing, if you're a starting pitcher, is when they get you 2 runs before you even go out there, because at least my theory was, hey, I got to give up 3 runs before I'm going to relinquish this lead. But again, when you're only 22, I'm not sure you really know that. So again, you don't command your stuff, and all of a sudden you're going to allow the Orioles to get some guys on base. They've already done that. And you get into hitters' counts. You got a guy on deck who can hit the ball out of the ballpark with 1 swing. You can be trailing. So again, what did you say, Rob? Not trusting your stuff, not going after him, probably pitching more defensively than you'd like.
Well, he starts nibbling there. He had to come in 3-1 fastball. He'll probably have to throw 3-1 or 3-0 fastball, 3-1 fastball here to a guy that can hit you out of the park right here and take the lead. And you don't want to beat yourself.
Yeah, we saw last night Reimold, after the good changeup from Detweiler, made a great adjustment and doubled down into the corner.
3-1 pitch is fouled off the other way.
Show the release point of Chiron Martis right here. You see him picking up his target, pulling that hand through. Nice follow through. Tell you what I was doing this morning. I was watching Tom Davis, Phil Wood, and Dave Johnson on the Masson channel doing their radio stuff. And Dave Johnson brought up a great point about Reimold. In the minor leagues, you're hitting 4th. Up here, you're hitting 7th or 8th. Because you're not going to knock Markakis or Aubrey Huff out of that 3-4 area. But you have very, very good hitters in the American League at the lower parts.
Yeah, Reimold had one of those great springs. He led the team in with 6 home runs, and Terry Crowley was saying, at the end, he quieted things down. When he came back up, he gets the front foot down. So, again, he can let the ball travel a little bit longer, pitch recognition. Steve McCaddy, who took over for Randy St. Clair, out to have a little conversation.
Well, and this won't be a pretty one either. It'll be one of the things I've talked to Steve McCaddy about is challenging people with your best stuff. Not getting beat with your 2nd or 3rd best pitch. But if you fall behind every hitter 2-1 or 3-1, 3-0, you're going to get killed. You can't pitch like that at the big league level.
Well, you were talking about hoping a young pitcher doesn't think too much or maybe outthink himself. I'm wondering, here's a guy after 7 starts was 5-0, and over his last 7 starts hasn't won. I would think it's difficult not to think.
Well, somebody asked me a question today about Jack Armstrong. Was with me in Cincinnati. He won 11 games in the first half of the season and 1 in the second half. He started the All-Star game, and I truly believe, and Jim will probably back me up on this, your mind is the worst thing for a pitcher. When you start to think and start to dissect what you're doing out there, you're going to get into trouble.
There's a called strike by Doug Eddings on the outside corner. Luke did not think so.
Yeah, he's trying to dissect that call.
I love the reactions.
Well, we're pitchers. I mean, obviously, if you're an artist, you want that pitch, even if it's a couple inches outside. But because the difference is you take that pitch right there. If it's 2-0, 1-1, you swing it. And the numbers, again, even when he gets behind, talking about Martis, 2-0, they're hitting 3 for 15. 2-1, 169.
Well, because that equalizer, the changeup, is deadly from him. But already you've thrown everything in your repertoire in this first inning. There's no mystery to what Chiron Martis features tonight.
Big pitch here, 1-2, bases loaded, and Scott down on strikes, and Martis gets out of it. So 2 walks, a base hit, and the Orioles strand the bases loaded. We'll enter the second in the Battle of the Beltways, and the Nationals have a 2-0 lead. Scratch off tickets from the Maryland Lottery for every Oriole home run hit in the game tonight. You can have a chance to win as well. Just enter by logging on to massonsports.com. So we go to the second. We'll see if Guthrie finds his stuff.
Do we have a contest to win one of these shirts?
Our koi shirts.
And our electric blue shirts.
Yeah, I'm rooting for extra inning. We can go right and be we can be a crossing guard tomorrow morning without even changing.
All he needs is that orange stripe across.
See, over on the Matson Baltimore version, we like to push the envelope a little bit. Anyone could get a beautiful blue shirt like that. Ground ball towards the middle. There's Andino. And one down as Austin Kearns is retired. Jim and I, we like to be different.
Different? Orange and black?
Well, this is
really different.
This is koi. This is a classic.
This matches the Masson colors.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, the Oriole colors.
Orange and black.
Right here.
Yes,
Masson,
exactly.
yellow, and blue up there in the logo.
Yep, there it is.
Got to be observant.
Nice.
They did a better job on Masson on my shirt than they did on the Nationals uniforms early on in the year, though. Don't you think? Do we have it? Is it spelled right, Rob?
Yes.
Okay. What, they forget the T or the I?
That was the O.
Oh, the O. Oh,
Adam Dunn.
Oh, an L? A BAL?
Ryan Zimmerman.
Bouncer to Andino. A long throw. Plants the foot. He got him. And back-to-back outs on ground balls and 2 men down. Well, here's your chance to save on tickets to upcoming O's games and pick up some exclusive memorabilia. Just buy an Orioles Rookie Flex Pack. You'll save on tickets to 4 upcoming games of your choice, including a prime game. Plus, for a limited time, purchase 2 tickets and receive an autographed photo of Nolan Reimold. If you purchase 4, you'll get an autographed picture of Matt Wieters as well. 888-848-BIRD, online Orioles.com. So Guthrie has now retired 3 in a row, going back to the double play to end the first. And back to the top of the lineup here is Willie Harris. Bunt towards third. It's a beauty. Melvin will let it roll. And it's a foul ball and just missed hitting the base. Melvin gambled. It almost cost him.
Well, yeah, not only that, I think he realized if I don't scurry after this one, because really he's not going to catch him. He's not playing in, which I'm not sure is a great idea. But now he's thinking, hey, this could be a double. He could keep going. And you have to go back to that Bonifacio play down against the Marlins where he stole second, kept going as Felix P.A. held the ball and ended up scoring. So Melvin's going, I don't think with 2 outs we won Willie at second base.
Yeah, that Bonifacio can fly, huh? He's got some wheels.
He did that night.
Guthrie deals. It's down and in.
But it's not like you don't know it. I mean, it's not like it's the first time you've ever. If you do your due diligence, you know that Willie Harris. He's a little bit like Mickey Rivers. He can bunt. That's what I thought he was going to be. That's when he first signed with the Orioles. Steal bases, contact guy. And you remember, you weren't pitching back then, but when the Reds played the Yankees in 1975 and the 76 in the World Series, Pete Rose paid Mickey Rivers about halfway up to home plate to take the bunt away, and he didn't even think about it.
The 2-2 pitch, high fly ball, left center field, not that deep. Reimold in, and the left fielder calls it and makes the grab, and a good comeback inning by Jeremy Guthrie. 3 up, 3 down. Nick Markakis T-shirt night. The kids having a ball.
150 at bats without a home run, but last night, who cared about the home runs? RBIs all over the ballpark. Ended up with 4, which was more than he had all month long. So there you go. Great home numbers. But again, the Orioles are hitting over 300 as a team. Best home batting average, even better than the Red Sox.
First ball swinging, pops it foul down the right side, slicing back towards the crowd. And it's in the stands. 0-1 on Mora. Zahn on deck, and then Robert Andino will follow. Let's get a look at the leaderboard presented by Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Best home batting average in the major leagues, and there are the Orioles on top at 304, the only team in the major leagues in their home ballpark above 300.
You know, and Melvin said it's not about 1 month, it's about the year. You have to have a strong mind to play. His manager said, well, there's Terry Crowley, his hitting instructor, but his manager said, hey, I was patient. I got to do what's best for the team. Moved him to 7th place, and what did he do? He get 4 RBIs. And Marta's trying to do what you would think most people would try to do. They didn't do it last night, is try to run the ball in on Melvin. Likes that out over the plate a lot better. Doesn't mean he can't hit the ball in, but you get enough base hits down and away, they start pitching you in. And if you're swinging well, and that's what Terry Crowley's hitting drills are designed to, short to the ball, that's when you start hitting the home runs.
Well, and I think hitting and pitching are the same. They're over 90% mental, and you're always out thinking yourself, and you put a guy in the 7 hole and he relaxes a little more.
Yep.
Really isn't changing anything.
And what is he hitting? It's not like he's not hitting well with runners in scoring position. He's hitting 346. He just has not had as many opportunities as other Orioles.
1-2 is down and away. 2-2 on Mora.
It doesn't really matter if he's hitting 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th. If you only had 50 chances, and and the numbers went up obviously last night, but he came in hitting 320 last night.
Some guys don't want to hit 4th.
No.
Some guys don't want to hit leadoff. I mean, it's psychological with a lot of hitters.
Line to center field. Harris is there, backs up on it, has it for the out, hard hit ball. 1 away. Well, Jim, that's a good point you make, because if you look at the 3 RBI leaders on the team, Huff has 50, Markakis 47, Jones 44. All season long, those 3 hitters have hit just in front of Melvin Mora. So sometimes you get those base hits after the other guys clear the bases.
Yeah, and the Orioles did such a splendid job of doing that. But Huff's had what? He's done a nice job. He's had 63 chances. Markakis 85. Jones, of course, he's had 54. So again, the numbers, they've all. I mean, if you look at the first 6, 7 hitters in the Oriole lineup, they're almost all of them hitting over 300.
Zahn swings through it. 1-1 the count on the Oriole catcher.
That is with runners in scoring position, so they've done a terrific job.
Martis looking for his first win since May 13th at San Francisco, which he enjoyed because it was the Giants, the organization he came up with. San Francisco traded him to the Nationals for left-handed pitcher Mike Stanton.
Well, he's pitched 39 innings since then. 29 runs have scored, and he's walked 19, giving up 37 hits. He just has not been as sharp, and it's almost like you said, he won 5 of his first 7 starts, and he started thinking about it. Hey, I'm tops among rookies in wins. Well, he's been at 5 for 6 weeks.
Yeah, there are the total. Yeah,
Jim, you and I talked about this the last time we worked together. Job 1 for a starting pitcher, go 6 or 7 innings nowadays. Back in your day, it was go a complete game. But try to give your team an opportunity to win. Some of our starting pitchers have lost that kind of focus, where my first job is to the team, to get to the 6th and 7th inning, be the bridge to the bullpen, and not blow up in the first few innings.
2-2 is ripped to right field down the line. Fair or foul, it is a home run! It got out onto the flag court just by the foul pole. Greg Zahn stays hot. The Orioles get on the board.
Yeah, it got around that foul pole pretty quickly. Well, Johnny at 38, not known for his home run power. I mean, he pulverized this 2-2 fastball. And you could see down the middle. Boy, does it get out of here in a hurry.
So Zahn hits the home run, his 3rd. He is now 7 for his last 10 with a couple of home runs. Robert Andino batting now, and it's a 1-run game.
And his average climbing back. I mean, 250 lifetime batting average coming into this year. Real good defensive player.
towards shortstop. Nice hop there for Alberto Gonzalez, and Nino is retired, and 2 away here in the Orioles' second inning.
What an arm.
He's got great arm. He's really changed. He made a bunch of errors early in the year, got sent back to the minor leagues for a month, came back, shortened up his swing. He's become more of a contact hitter, knows his limitations a little bit better. He's not swinging like Ronnie Belliard, hacking for everything for a home run. He's trying to put the ball in play. He's done great, and his defense has improved also.
2 down. Here's Brian Roberts, his second at bat. He swung at the first pitch in the bottom of the first, popped foul to the left fielder, and he takes a strike. We're talking about Brian Roberts and Willie Harris, both being drafted by the Orioles in 1999. They were teammates, as Jim mentioned, at Delmarva in that 99 season, and they each made their big league debut for the Orioles in 2001. Mike Bordick got hurt. Brian Roberts came up. He was a shortstop still then, and he came up and started at shortstop on June 14th. Willie was a September call-up, and he came up and started in center field. And the tie between those two is Melvin Morris, still with the Orioles, was in each of those games. The game Willie started, Melvin played shortstop. The game Robert started, Melvin played center field. At that time, he was Mr. Super Utility guy. And then after that season, the Orioles traded Willie to Chicago for Chris Singleton. And Willie went on to have some good years there, played for the Braves, and now with the Nets, as Roberts fouls it off.
Oh, and Willie was an integral part of that World Championship team in Chicago, and then picked up by the Nationals after that. Now, he's a great clubhouse guy. He'll play anytime, anywhere, and you saw the graphic a little earlier in the game, hitting over almost 300 since he got back in the lineup every day, and he was hitting under 200 when he was playing once a week. So you got to get repetition. It's very difficult to be sitting on the bench and getting 4 or 5 at bats a week. Like Greg Zahn. It was funny. I was standing around the cage and he was joking today. He goes, with Dave Tremblay standing there, he goes, I was overexposed in the first 6 weeks. But that's just the kind of attitude you got to have here.
Roberts called out on strikes. That ends the inning, and Greg Zahn gets into one. His 3rd home run just around the foul pole, and it's a 1-run game. Introduced to the fans at Camden Yards. Matt earlier tonight signed his first professional contract, so he is now a pro ball player, and he will be assigned to Bluefield, where he will go to the Appalachian League and begin his career and trying to make his way up through the minor leagues. As Christian Guzman, first ball swinging, hits it in the right field. So he is 2 out of 2 and a leadoff runner on here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, that's the one thing Brad Bergeson was able to do, at least early on when he pitched last night, to get Guzman out early. Other than the 2nd inning, he was very good at keeping that lead off runner on or off base. And tonight, a little different story.
No, this is the hitter the Nationals have to get going. Had a great streak earlier in the season. Has really struggled with power in the last month.
Do you think that is because they just, when you're that hot, they adjust?
Oh, absolutely, and you have to adjust. They've been throwing them a lot of breaking balls away, a lot of fastballs in, and you know, if you don't adjust, move closer to the plate or move closer to the mound, they're going to make the adjustments and make you go into a slump. They'll put you in a slump.
Guthrie gets ahead. Guzman has only 1 steal on the year, and he's been caught 3 times. 1-run game, 2-1. Bounce foul down the third base line past Pat Listash.
Yeah, the Nationals don't do a lot of running. 24 successful steals, 16 caught stealing. Orioles come in at 37 steals, been caught 22 times. So both of these teams pretty much station to station compared to some of the other teams in both of the leagues.
0-2 is fouled back.
See again, and that's Jeremy right there, 0-2. He misses the glove. So I think that's a product of maybe overthrown a little bit. The stuff is so good, and to me, 91 to 94 moves more than 96.
Couldn't agree more. Sometimes you can
or some guys.
Well, but you can throw 98 straight down the middle and they'll hit it.
Yep.
But if you throw 91 that's moving all over the place, they have a real rough time adjusting to that pitch.
0-2 is grounded towards third. Mora has it. He'll go to second one. Back to first and out at first base on the stretch by Huff. Melvin had a little trouble getting out of his glove, and that caused Brian Roberts to get that throw rushing on its way to Huff, and they turned it 5-4-3.
Well, yeah, the Mora kids would love this. It's a snow cone. It's going to get caught up in the glove, and a high throw, and then Brian, high throw to a big first baseman, Aubrey Huff, who's bordering on 6'4"-ish. So again, you can see Guzman does a nice job of trying to break it up. And so again, being ahead of Zimmerman allows him to get him to chase a ball up and in, makes a good pitch, and gets a double play.
But that's his 14th double play that he's grounded into this year.
That's not a category you aspire to lead your league in.
No, it's not. And once again, it's making the adjustment, trying to hit behind the runner, be more of a hit and run type guy. When you see, Nick Johnson gets on all the time when he's in the 2-hole. He's out tonight. Obviously, with the hurt shin and the hurt foot, 2 nights in a row he got hit with pitches. But it's adjusting your mental approach.
High foul ball. Adam Dunn can hit him a long way. He's got 18 home runs on the year.
Yeah, he comes up and in, and of course, if you're going to go in, you better get it in, and he did. So about the only place Adam could hit that ball without breaking his bat is way foul, and he did that. Souvenir, what, in the upper deck?
Yep. There's the 0-2. It's inside.
That's where the late Elrod Hendricks used to take batting practice. He'd be hitting him. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. He'd be hitting him in the upper deck at Memorial Stadium, almost over the dugout. Used a 38-ounce bat. Had to get it started. And then what does he do in the World Series? The only ball he ever hit to left field, right over the bag in the '70 World Series.
2-2 on Adam Dunn as Guthrie missed. 51 RBIs, leading the Nats. High fly ball, towering fly ball, right center field. Jones moving in on it. And Adam has it for the out, and the inning ends base hit and a man left. When we come back, Bob Carpenter joins the group. 2-1 game.
trip at southwest.com. By Corona and Corona Light, official sponsors of the timeout. Relax responsibly. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by PNC Bank. PNC leading the way. Well, it's beautiful down here by the Inner Harbor when it's 82 degrees and low humidity. As meteorologist Jim Palmer was chronicling for us a few moments ago, what a delightful night. It's beautiful.
You don't have to be a meteorologist to know that it's a lot nicer tonight than it was last night. They call it close.
And for the Nationals, the scoreboard would fall under that same heading.
Yeah, but you've arrived. I don't know.
I gave up 10 last night.
I get blamed for things. If things don't go well, yeah. I mean, broadcasters.
Oh yeah.
I get
blamed for a lot of stuff.
Well, I don't mean, but I mean, if you know the fortunes and misfortunes.
I'm just starting to learn. You've been at this a long time, so you've had a lot of.
Oh, I don't mean what we say. I'm just saying if things are going well. I mean, Tony La Russa.
Well, I'm very superstitious.
You go and
tell
talk
him all the time.
Yeah, you go talk to Tony, and if they lost that night, you go, I can't talk to you. Like I had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
You managed. Come on.
That's the same thing with doing radio. I do radio before TV, and if somebody goes into a slump, they'll be, I'm not coming on your show anymore. You put me in a slump. What?
And don't dare ask a hitter who's going good what he's doing.
No.
They
don't want to know.
Same thing with the pitcher. They don't want to know their earned run average.
3-1 to Jones, who fouls one off to the right side. He's sure having a good series.
Well, he'd have even a better one if he took that base on balls and went down to first base. And that is the difference. You know, he hit almost 360 the month of May. High 280s, 18 RBIs in both of those months. And right there, I think you get aggressive and you start swinging at balls. And that's how you get yourself out.
And he hits the ball extremely hard, but right at Ronnie Belliard for the first out here in the third. It'll be Markakis and Huff, the next two hitters.
I played with Reggie Jackson, who I think 8 home runs in 8 or 9 straight games. Same with Don Baylor. And they get so hot, put in one of those 15 for 20 streaks. And then all of a sudden you get such great confidence, you start expanding the strike zone and you get yourself out of that hot streak. Now this guy doesn't swing at too many balls. Nick Markakis, and that's why he's right around 300 just about every year. 43
strikeouts, 28 walks. That's a pretty good ratio for someone who hits with power. Hit the ball to center first time.
Markakis came into tonight, 68 interleague games, hitting .327, 5 home runs career.
He's one of the reasons the Orioles have won 12 of their last 16 interleague games in this ballpark. Hitting .304 doesn't hurt. And Martis behind him 2-0. That'll be on the out on half. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, off-speed pitches seem to speed up his bat, and a lot of people think you can trick him. That's hard to do. And then if you get behind him, as most young hitters, he'll look for balls he can drive. Right there. Yep, and he recognized it early. I think for a guy like Martis, you would think because he throws so many changeups that as he goes through the lineup, they would recognize unless he makes really good quality pitches.
20 pitches in his second inning. And on a pitch up and in, a great inside-out swing by Markakis and a base hit to left field. Neither starter figures to be around very deep tonight in this game, but the recent trend for Guthrie much better. Get your family fun pack tickets. Bring the whole gang out to the ballpark in D.C. Sunday games, $14. Get you an upper right field terrace ticket, $25. Lower bowl on either side, a hot dog, a non-alcoholic drink, and chips. With each ticket, minimum 2 tickets per purchase at nationals.com or 888-632-NATS. Well, there's Aubrey Huff, who walked his first time.
Including tonight now, Chiron Martis has walked 38 batters on the season and only struck out 31. So that's a way backward strikeout to walk ratio.
I did notice in the first inning when he threw those 23 pitches, almost everything he threw was over the plate. He just kept missing low, so it's not like he was all over the place.
Well, his best game of the season by far was against St. Louis, the complete game, and he changed eye level the entire game. Yep. Curveballs in the dirt, changeups down low, fastballs all the way up the ladder. And lately, it's been a lot of this, throwing in that nice little box, the shoe box, and not really expanding the zone too much, not up or down.
1 and 2 with the man aboard, and that's right on the inside corner. It appeared, and he doesn't get the call from Doug Eddings.
Well, yeah, Doug, I think he's still
thinking about the Luke Scott pitch.
Really. And how do you not call that pitch a strike?
Wow, very easily. You said ball.
If you can't get that,
it's tough to pitch up here.
Well, it's different if Bard was sitting low and away and had to reach back across the plate, but it was right to the glove.
Then he gets him low. Had the left-hander reaching. Aubrey Huff 0 for 1 with a walk in the first inning, and for Martis, his third strikeout. And the hitter will be Nolan Reimold with 2 outs.
Well, Jim, I spoke with Bob Boone the other day. He's the vice president in charge of player development for the Nationals. Caught over 2,000 games, and there you see that great changeup to Huff. Here's the Exmo on the miss, about 59 feet, and he said, you can no longer throw to a catcher and hit the glove and get the called strike. You can't put the catcher's body out away from the plate any longer. They're not calling that. And that's because of this evaluation zone camera in every ballpark, the Quest Tech. And so they're having to reteach the catchers in the minor league systems to move the glove away from the plate but leave their bodies behind home plate.
Yeah, and that's why giving a target is so important. And you try to do it late. And some hitters do look down. And watch Josh Bard right here. Sign moves in early.
Yeah, he moved well inside. That results in a grounder pulled to Zimmerman on to Belliard, and the Orioles are gone in the bottom of the third. They've stranded 4. It's a 2-1 Washington lead. Question for us tonight.
Fly.
The last position players to win Rookie of the Year for the O's and the Nats. Well, that would be in Montreal, right?
Yeah, you would think.
I don't think we've had any.
Did Zimmerman? No.
No, he was thinking third in the voting back in 06. Josh Willingham called on strikes with the bases loaded first time up. The Nationals have had a problem with situational hitting this year, and most notably over the last month. When Willingham struck out, Bard did get the RBI walk, but then arguably the most undisciplined hitter on the team, Ronnie Belliard, hit into that double play. It's 0-2, and Willingham takes a breaking ball very close.
And the only way you take that pitch is if you're not trying to jerk the ball and you cut down your swing and you're going to use the whole field. And he's been red hot. Probably one of the reasons. Yeah, normally the good slider is that you don't pick it up out of the hand. And it looked to me that Willingham was able to recognize both of those sliders and lay off them.
And that's a fastball that's over but low. An appeal to Jim Joyce, the crew chief. No swing. He'll have the plate tomorrow.
Let's check out the side angle there.
No, boy, are you strong right there. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a Jim Rice.
On a fastball up, it's a fair ball down into the left field corner. Reimold will pick it up right near the barrier, and Josh Willingham's 1 for 2 tonight. That'll be his 9th double of the year to go with 9 home runs. So he has 36 hits, and half of them are extra base hits, more than half.
Well, once again, an awfully quick bat, and the count went from 0-2 to 3-2, and all of a sudden, if you're Jeremy Guthrie, you want to get the first batter out. You can't. You got to throw the ball more for the middle of the plate, and Willingham all over that high fastball.
3 innings out of 4 now. The Nationals have had their leadoff man aboard, and Josh Bard's job will be to move Willingham at least to third base.
Well, Bob, it's what you talked about, situational hitting. Who better to do it than Bard, and he does it.
And that may not be deep enough to advance anybody.
Well, watch this arm. You talked about Austin Kern. Look at this.
Yeah. You know, he hit the cutoff man, and he threw it so well, it would have been a short hop at third base.
Well, you know, he came up as a shortstop, and Gary Pettis was in town with the Rangers, and he said, you know what, I had him in the Arizona Fall League, and he could play shortstop. But they had signed Yuniesky Betancourt. So what's this right here? And you're right about hitting the cutoff, man. And whoa.
And he did a nice job surrounding the ball. He went back on it. Some guys will catch it flat-footed and get nothing behind it. There's no momentum. But he got momentum, and as Bob said, key, hit the cutoff, man.
Well, you know, Andy Van Slyke, I had some conversations with him, and he was a very good center fielder on some really good Pittsburgh teams. And he always told me the harder you work before the ball gets there, the easier it is once you have it in your hands. And he was a big proponent of charging hard on base hits and fly balls. And, you know, not all guys do that.
When Andy Van Slyke, who was a Gold Glover many times over, would throw the ball, he would fall forward and almost do a somersault. He would put so much behind the throw. You've got to have momentum coming forward as an outfielder.
He also told me an amazing story. He whistled at Barry Bonds and tried to get him to move in 2 steps just before the Cabrera hit that put the Braves in the World Series.
That rolled up his arm, and he never really did get a throw on.
Yeah, Bonds might have been able to get that runner at home. The speedster, Sid Bream.
Yeah.
Here's Belliard flying one right field line, twisting and turning away from Aubrey Huff and bouncing in for strike 2.
Well, it's kind of an interesting thing. Dave Winfield, you know, who's obviously in the Hall of Fame and over 3,000 hits, but he said the reason he teaches is not only his son but young players to catch the ball with 2 hands is that if you do that, not that a lot of outfielders do it, it's already close to your throwing hand. It's kind of like receiving behind the plate. How you go get the ball as a catcher. Where you have to move your glove, it takes longer, and you know, we know sometimes there are those bang bang plays that if you execute it properly, they're bang bang in your favor.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Belliard, who's driven in 7 runs this year.
Well, and it's a transfer too. We talked about this with Albers last night, and taking more time to transfer takes more time for the catcher to get the ball, throw guy out running. Same thing. If you catch the ball and you're a right-handed thrower like you know, Adam Jones out there, and you catch it on the left side, you got transferred to the right side, that takes time. So you want to circle the ball, catch it on the right-hand side, and come over from the right-hand side.
Belliard, left side, tried to pull that breaking ball. Mora throws him out, 2 down.
Yeah, I think Jeremy getting a little lucky because it hung, but it hung away. Well, what did Clint Eastwood said? If you're going to hang him high. And he did. And he had to reach for it, and that's the difference.
Well, as a pitcher, you want this guy to try to pull a breaking ball away, even though it was up in the zone. Belliard does just that. All he can do is hit a ground ball, and this is a nice play by Mora.
So the inability to get Willingham.
Well, and for Belliard, it's the inability to cut down the swing. He's just going to keep hacking and trying to hit home runs. Interleague play, 139 games, 10 home runs. I'm sure he read that stat and said, I'm going to try to hit 11 and 12 tonight.
He's 4 for his last 38, by the way.
It's just wrong. You can't hit and have that approach at the big league level.
And Austin Kearns is 10 for his last 70 after a ground ball to shortstop tonight. He's really been struggling, been mainly out of the lineup for at least the last week or so since Josh Willingham came back from the bereavement list 1 week ago today. 1-on-1 to Kearns, who's been stuck on 15 RBIs for nearly 7 weeks.
And the one thing I got to give Manny Acta a lot of credit for, and Rick Eckstein, they are getting these guys at bats. They are getting at least 1 or 2 starts a week. Manny Acta doesn't bench these guys. He gives them an opportunity to work their way out of their slump.
The easiest thing in the world would be to bury him, right?
Absolutely.
And you never see him again.
Nope. But Manny Acta and his coaches will not do that.
Fastball tails back, and the count's 2-2.
Yeah, and the easiest thing for him to get out of his slump is just to get a base hit here.
A single.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. It's 2 outs. Willingham will be running on contact.
And sometimes it's a little ground ball to the opposite side of the field that goes through. Sometimes it's a hard line drive to left field that drives in a run. Austin Kearns, his first RBI since early May.
Now he puts a good swing on it, and Guthrie trying to go up and in. Now watch Zahn go in. He doesn't get it in. It's pretty much inner half of the plate.
Yeah, look at the X-Mo. Yeah. You see Austin Kearns, he had the hands away from the body a little bit. He's been working very hard with Eckstein. I've talked to Rick about it. And it was funny yesterday, you're talking about Adam balls. He's been hitting some balls right at people.
Yeah, that's what Rick said today. He said,
yep.
Yeah, big part of the ballpark. Last year maybe home runs, this year fly balls to the warning track.
Right.
But right there, an awfully good approach.
The last time Austin Kearns, last time he had an RBI was with a pinch hit double against the Dodgers in LA on May 7th. So he went 1 month and 20 days without an RBI, and here's Alberto Gonzalez.
And the thing the Nationals did so well, Bob, you know, in the first month is get 2-out base hits.
Yep.
So many 2-out base hit RBIs, and it's almost been like 6 weeks since they were hitting like that, and they need to get that back into their approach. With 2 outs, you just got to put the ball in play.
Like Gonzalez needs to do here on 0-2. He takes a breaking ball off the plate. Alberto Gonzalez came into this game hitting .405 over the last 3.5 weeks. I just talked to Mike Rizzo next door, the Nats GM. Mike loves the way he handles himself at shortstop, and he said if he got a chance to play more, he'd be a very good second baseman. Even though he only spells Hernandez there occasionally, he's still considered an above average second baseman for a position he very seldom plays. And I think you guys all saw his arm last inning.
And before you joined us, that's what I was telling Jim about that, Bob, is that this kid went down to the minor leagues for 4 weeks. He worked on some of his lesser things, and he improved.
That was one of his bigger swings lately. Kearns' swing gives the Nationals a 3-1 lead. So walks, a #1 draft pick in the house, and a beautiful evening at the Inner Harbor. It's Washington 3, Baltimore 1 after 3.5. For the Orioles, Scott, Mora, and Zahn here in the 4th. Luke Scott had a long discussion with Doug Eddings about that strike one call after the first inning was over, and he struck out swinging to end that frame with the bases loaded. In fact, his manager had to come out and get in between him and the umpire. Always interesting to see what happens the next time up, and it's 2-0.
Well, what is a 1-0 pitch, and he thought it should have been ball 2. And
as you said, it changed the whole
bat. It really did. And then Cook to Martis made a terrific pitch to strike him out with a changeup.
And the bases were loaded. The Orioles had a chance to get right back and maybe tie the game at that point.
Let's break it down pitch by pitch to Luke Scott. There you see the fastball away, get to 1-1. There you see a changeup. There you see the changeup down, but it was that pitch that got him back in there, 1-0, where he threw a strike, and Luke Scott thought it was 2-0. And as Jim said, he had to swing 1-1, where maybe if it's 2-0, you don't swing at that changeup.
3-1 here. And the Orioles have a leadoff man on for the first time. And maybe Luke Scott's conversation pays some dividends about 45, 50 minutes later.
Well, don't you think, Bob? And I thought that the pitches early on from Guthrie to Adam Dunn in the first inning were off the plate, but there were some close pitches, and I'm sure the dugout yelled. And now Eddings has always decided to try to, maybe, and it wasn't that it was unfair. It's just that the borderline pitches seem to go Nationals' way, and who knows? You just want an umpire to be consistent, and I don't know if he's doing that tonight.
You just hit the nail on the head for me, Jim. Just be consistent. If you're going to have a loose zone, be loose for both clubs. If you're going to have a tight zone, be tight for both clubs.
But what was so unusual, he had just walked 2 batters, and then he got what really wasn't even a borderline call. That's why Scott was so upset. And here's a 1-0 to Mora. It's a high strike, and the count's even.
And just think how difficult it is to umpire. I mean, I know you're standing there and whatever, but guys are all over the place, especially Guthrie and Martis early on, and you'd like to have it somewhere in the vicinity of the glove.
But when you're being graded on whether or not it's a ball or a strike, and you're going to go to the playoffs or World Series, they err now on the side of a ball. Because if they call a strike and they say, no, we feel it was a ball, your rating goes down. And so that's the way
he's calling a strike a ball?
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
And you almost think it should be the other way around.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, what's going to speed up the game and have better baseball? Little pop fly right side. Belliard out. Kearns in. Ronnie Belliard with a basket catch on a play you'd much rather see be taken by the right fielder. But I've had hitters, Jim, tell me if they did call more strikes, we'd probably be more aggressive. We'd be swinging more. And I think the hitters would adjust. But they've not been allowed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, Jay Nolan came over and caught for us, and he'd come out of the National League, and he said in the National League, the pitch is a strike until it becomes a ball. In the American League, it's a ball until it becomes a strike.
Interesting.
And I was saying
a low ball league, the other a high ball league.
It was.
That's why Bob Gibson always said, I'll never pitch a no-hitter because I'm a high ball pitcher. Well, one night nobody could catch up with him in Pittsburgh, and he got one, but a guy like him might have had more no-hitters in a different league.
Well, all I know is he had a 1.12 ERA for the entire year.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I don't care how high.
They had to lower the mound, so we should thank Mr. Gibson for that one.
Or how about Mr. McLean with 31 wins?
There you go.
That same year.
Last time up, Zahn hit a home run, put the Orioles on the board. Martis now throwing a few more changeups down and away to him.
Boy, he made a great pitch to Mora, jammed him after the leadoff walk to Scott. I actually think his stuff has been pretty good tonight. He's a little erratic with it.
He's got a great running fastball, and he really hasn't even utilized his curveball yet. And he's got an excellent curveball, too.
I think the only one he threw was the backdoor curveball to Brian Roberts to strike him out. There's a slider.
Pretty good one under the hands of Zahn, who's now 4 for his last 6 and 7 of his last 10.
As I said before, he was joking around the batting cage, loose, getting that first start in what? A week?
And this ball to left for Josh Willingham. That'll be the second out of the inning, and number 9 man Robert Andino will be next. Let's pay off our Aflac trivia. Rookies of the year, position players for the O's and the Nats.
Well, position players, so it has to be
Cal Ripken Jr. and
Andre Dawson. Ooh, that's a way back.
I was going to say Moises Alou. That would have been my guess, but
Rob and I had this discussion a couple of weeks ago, Jim. Some of our fans don't want to hear about the Expos. They consider that another lifetime.
Okay, so then we would only have had one position player. We wouldn't have brought the Nationals in there.
Does anybody talk about the St. Louis Browns here anymore? I mean, the Orioles have been here obviously a lot.
Well, 1954, yeah.
But I mean, we talk about teams move, and that's part of your history, whether you like it or not. And the Browns were not exactly stellar. I think they went to 1 World Series in 44.
Anything else you'd like to vent about tonight, Bob?
No.
Okay, just my shirt, the color of his shirt. You guys look great tonight.
I love your shirt.
Yeah. You guys really look good tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah,
except how come? Why you got a long sleeve shirt on, Rob, and Bob's got the short sleeve?
I've got less ink.
No, well, that's true.
I've come to know what that term means.
I don't want to scare the people at home, so if they do a shot of us, I pull the sleeves down. Voila. All right. I look like you two characters.
3 balls and a strike to Robert Andino. Bounced out to short first time. He lines it, but it's right at Willingham. And the Orioles are gone in the 4th. They strand another runner. They've left 5. On to the 5th inning. It's 3-1 Washington. Book your next trip at Southwest.com. By Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. And by Acura. Acura Advance. Top of the order for the Nationals. Willie Harris 1 for 2. A combined 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored by Harris and Guzman tonight. This isn't the first time this week Willie Harris has hit in the leadoff spot. He'll pop this one up left side of the infield. Melvin Mora. It's coming back fair. He's got it for the first out.
Yeah, high sky, so everybody's pointing. Jeremy Guthrie. You got to understand the Nationals, those 3 runs were what? They had only gotten 4 in 28 innings in the previous 4 starts.
How about this?
Yeah.
Since June 4th, most times scoring less than 5 runs, Washington Nationals lead the major leagues.
I saw that stat and I said it referred to what you were talking about last night. 18 times.
Yeah. Less than 5 runs since June 4th.
Hard to win.
What happened to the offense?
You know what? June 4th isn't that long ago. That's 18 times in 23 days. Guzman's 2 for 4. Well, here's some more math for you. Guzman has multi-hit games in 8 of his last 10. And his batting average is climbing toward the 340 mark. He started the night 5th in the league in the National League at 333. So he's becoming one of those line drive machines again, which he is when he's going well. He has to fight off an 0-2 pitch. Ball drifting, and Mora swipes it and makes a very good play.
I'll tell you what, Andino, the shortstop, I mean, sprinting after that, but what a play by Melvin Mora. 4 RBIs last night, and he took one look to see where everybody was, and then there you go. People forget that when Melvin came out of Venezuela, and there you go, he kind of got it centered. He was a great soccer player. Played professional soccer down there, and then went to Houston, went to the Mets, came over here and played shortstop, played center field. That was a few miles ago, though.
Yeah, but that was just athleticism.
Yeah.
He just felt for the ball and caught it. Knew Andino was coming down on him, too.
Broke in with the Mets in '99 after signing with Houston at the age of 19, 8 years before that. It took him a while to get to the big leagues. 0-1 to Zimmerman.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we dropped down on it.
Yeah. Well, that didn't work too well. But I mean, right here, 0-2, you're down by 2 runs. You got to figure out, okay, number one, I want to stay away from an extra base hit, and I want to stay away from a home run because you're already down by 2. So what do I need to go? Fastball down and away. Make Zimmerman cover the outside corner.
I had a pitching coach in the minor leagues named Harry Dorish. And God love him. He passed away a few years ago. But he used to always say, don't be a Thomas Edison out there. You know, don't try to invent pitches. Don't try to, you know, do something you're not capable of doing. And right there you saw him, you know, change the arm level and everything. And so I think as a hitter, he's probably not going to swing at that pitch unless it's just, you know, anywhere close.
Well, not 0-0.
Right.
And he did that earlier on in the year and had some success with it. But again, you're already down by 2 runs. Why would you want to change something? And this is not your normal guy who chases a ball 4 at the plate.
Zimmerman chasing what would have been a walk with a big power hitter on deck. But this is Ryan. When he's going well, you can't get him out. When he's struggling, he'll swing all over the place. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a double play tonight. And a 3-2. Fastball that jammed him.
Yeah, if somebody, and we just showed you the graphic up on top, 3 and 2, he's what, hitting 194. Somebody said you're hitting 194 and maybe even lower than that when you get to 2 strikes and not 3 and 2. Wouldn't you like to walk? I mean, that's not a very productive average. They'd say, oh, sure. Well,
and he's only hitting 220, 230 range since the hitting streak ended. That ball's out into left center, not going anywhere except to Adam Jones. Nationals go quietly in the top of the 5th inning, halfway through the ball game on a gorgeous night. 3-1 Nats. He was spending quite a bit of time with them yesterday. I feel like Father Flanagan with these two up here. Jim Palmer over there, Rob Dibble, having some fun at the ballpark tonight. But despite a lot of glitches by both pitchers, both of them are still in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the score is similar to what it was going in the middle of innings last night, 3-1, except the Orioles were ahead. And then again, that 8-run inning that the Orioles were able to come up with in the 6th inning.
And this kind of performance, just with the doctor orders, Chiron Martis changing speeds, really isn't even using his curveball. He's just going after him. 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, great differential. You talk about this with Guthrie. He doesn't have a lot of differential. Well, Chiron Martis does in the changeup and the fastball, keeping the Orioles off balance.
Well, you know, this is a game of adjustment. And when Martis pitched against the Orioles, Adam Jones hit a home run in Washington. He is better tonight than he was back then. And I know he struggled, but again, that's, I think, what you want to see in a 22-year young pitcher. Are you better as the season progresses, even though you're going to struggle? That's part of learning the game. That's what Steve McCatty, who has come on as a pitching coach, said. Hey, I want them to go out there. I want them to get in their innings. We're going to make mistakes. I want them to learn from them.
Absolutely. You have to make mistakes on your own to learn at this level. And we have so many guys. I mean, he's got less than 20 starts in the big league, so he's still got to go out there not knowing these hitters that well.
And I think the other thing, what they've been able to do, Brian Roberts last night in a game the Orioles win 11-1, went 0 for 4, and tonight they've been able to keep them off the base. If you want to beat the Orioles, that's a good way to try to start.
Martis came into this bottom of the 5th with right around 80 pitches. So this ball game, based on pitch counts, will be decided by the bullpens eventually. Washington leads 3-1. And a 1-2. Fastball up and away. And there is Alberto Gonzalez.
Well, just like we saw with Melvin Moore, athleticism, this is just a reaction, almost like a third baseman right here. This is a line shot off the bat, going away from him. Brian Roberts hits it towards the middle. He jumps up. All great timing right there by Alberto Gonzalez. And Jim, we talked about this. Defense really gives you confidence as a pitcher.
I don't think we can count that as an atom ball.
No. That's an atom rocket.
Yeah, that kid can really place him short. And ironically, he replaces Christian Guzman as the shortstop tonight. And Guzman's had all kind of problems this year going to his left, of all places. Not going into the hole, but going up the middle on balls.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. If you're Manny Acta, you're saying, okay, we need to have more offense, so we leave Guzman in. 9-game hitting streak. Nice pitch right there. And unable to come up with it. So, again, you have to hurry, but you hope that you help yourself defensively, but you still have Guzman to help your offense. So, again, you know, very tough play there. And I know that he knew he had to hurry, just couldn't make the play.
It appeared that ball took a funny hop on him just as he went for that short hop.
I think that's a hit. That's a hit. I think with Adam Jones' speed, I think he beats that out. That's why he tried to rush it. So I think the official score will know this is a rookie out there at shortstop.
They have another look. Yeah.
Hey, I should be an official score. Okay, maybe not. Chiron Martis now attacking Nick Markakis. Throws him an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, a little bit outside for strike one. Markakis is 1 for 2 on the night with a single back in the third inning. Now with the guy on first, though, a little bit different. Martis in the stretch.
And Markakis having a good series with 4 hits. That ball driven to left, but not too deep. And Willingham is well in front of the track to put it away for the second out. So Martis finding a way here in the middle of the game to get outs. And getting them a whole lot quicker than he was earlier.
Well, and once you start showing them you have such a good changeup right there, he sped up the bat of Markakis and he couldn't get around on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. He flied out to left field.
Little spinning ground ball from the bat of Aubrey Huff. And because the shift is on, it's a base hit that gives the Orioles runners at the corners. In a conventional defense, the defense is heading back to the dugout right now.
Yeah, but they didn't really shift the shortstop over as far as they normally do when they put it on, because, again, if he's over a little bit more, and you can see Gonzalez can't get it, Belliard can't get it, Jones just doesn't even hesitate. And it was a good pitch, did not hit it very hard. But he's able to find a hole. And again, if you were with us last night, this is a much faster infield than it was a couple of months ago. Orioles, again, leading the American League in hitting at home. One of the reasons that they can flat out hit.
Big spot for Reimold. Last time up, he was batting with a man at first and 2 outs. And he bounced into a 5-4 fielder's choice. Tying runs at first base for the O's here in the 5th.
Little slider there.
Yeah.
In a fastball count.
First pitch was a get-me-over slider that he missed, so he threw the get-me-over slider 1-0. Nice job by Bard, making him stay slow with this good fastball hitter.
And a high fly ball to left. Willingham does not see it. He has no idea, and the ball leaves the ballpark anyway.
Yeah, it didn't appear, Bob, that he had a home run swing. And that's one thing that he doesn't get cheated. Yeah, this kid, and again, I haven't seen too many kids with under 100 at-bats make the kind of adjustments he's able to make. It looked like a changeup. I mean, perfect pitch to hit.
Yeah, he threw 3 pitches the same speed right there. Reimold makes the adjustment and just crushes that up into the very tough sky, but it was a home run anyway when it came down.
And you can see, again, this is a very short porch. Looked like he had a home run swing. Ball went a couple of rows.
I thought it was a home run when it hit the bat.
Yeah. According to the dimensions, maybe 345 or 350 where that ball went out, about halfway from the 333 to the 364 mark. And Josh Willingham, even if he saw it and got back to the wall, it probably was too high for him to make any kind of play on.
It's still hazy here. It's not even the black night sky, and he lost it, but that ball was crushed. That is one strong kid.
Martis has given up 2 homers tonight, 11 on the year, and he continues to get punished with the off-speed pitch. And the Orioles lead for the first time, 4-3.
Well, the location was awful. It was up, but you know, you throw 3 pitches the same speed, whether it's 398 mile an hour fastballs or 384 mile an hour sliders and changeups, the hitters will adjust. They're painful lessons to watch, but for these kids, when they get to 100 starts under their belts, they won't be doing this anymore.
Well, it's a Stammen's change up to Ortiz. Obviously, a lot more at bats for David Ortiz, but you speed up the bat, you keep away from the big part of the ballpark, and the Orioles take advantage of it.
Well, the one thing I told you last night that these young hitters maybe aren't realizing situational baseball. What's this guy looking to do? He's looking to drive a ball, got a couple of outs in the inning, looking to take me deep. The one pitch I can't give him is let him get his arms extended to hit a home run. So you're either going to throw him fastballs to jam him, or you're going to throw stuff down and away from him.
There's a backdoor breaking ball that strikes out Luke Scott. Big inning for the Orioles. Infield hits by Jones and Huff, and Nolan Reimold, a towering homer to left. 4-3 Baltimore. Pick your plan, your games, your seats, and get a free one. It's that easy. 202-675-NATS or nationals.com/Grand Slam. Jeremy Guthrie, 95 pitches, 58 strikes. He could now be the winning pitcher. He leaves as the pitcher of record as Brian Bass replaces him, with Dunn, Willingham, and Bard coming up top 6.
Yeah, Bass has got 4 pitches. He's got a changeup, curveball, slider, and a pretty good sinker. You can touch 92, 94 miles per hour if he gets behind it. I'll tell you what, would you have predicted that Guthrie would have lasted 5? If he hadn't been
the way he started the game, no.
Exactly.
But
couple of runs in.
He can thank Ronnie Belliard for that in the first inning.
On a 3-2 pitch, a 6-4-3 double play ball ended that inning. Washington got only 2 runs after having the bases loaded and nobody out for 3 different hitters. So he's got a chance to be 6-7 if the bullpen can do the job. Here's Adam Dunn, who's walked, has an RBI, and a fly ball to center.
I see a lot of guys, Jim, wearing the mouthpiece nowadays. I've seen more than just a handful of pitchers. Is there a reason for that?
I guess, because you grind your teeth. And
I grind my teeth when I sleep.
Well,
when
so
I'm pitching, I don't really need a mouthpiece.
I
Not
just
a football game or a hockey game.
Nope. But I think it's, again, I guess what the mandibular, where you grind your teeth, it causes tension and headaches and neck problems. Yeah, which is why a lot of people wear mouth guards when they sleep.
My pitching coaches used to teach me breathing exercises.
Yeah,
I mean, relax.
Well, yeah, you listen to your hearts. I mean, what we were talking between innings, Catfish Hunter used to put the hat real loosely
now
on his head.
Tell this story.
I mean, Catfish used to just lay his hat on the top of his head when he would do his sides, because if he jerked his head because he overthrew, the hat would come off, and he always kind of knew. Earl Weaver, I can't tell exactly the language. He just run out and think, will you please relax? And by the way, get somebody out.
3-2 to Dunn, who's walked 58 times this year.
I think the one thing with Brian Bass, you can see he drops his elbows so the ball doesn't sink. When he gets on top, stays closed, he's got the good sinker.
Adam Dunn will take another walk. Nationals have the leadoff man aboard for the 4th time in 6 innings. And for our Nationals fans, it's never been easier to take in a ball game. Go by StubHub.com, official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Nats. Back here tomorrow, DC 50 will also join us in our market down there. On to Florida for 3 on Mass and 2. And then a short 3-game homestand commences, Mass and HD, with the Braves coming in for the 4th of July weekend. That's a fastball inside to Josh Willingham.
And, of course, Brian Bass, and somebody walked up to me the other day when I was working out at the gym, and they said, well, do you think Bass, who has been very good when he's come in games behind, do you think he pitches better when he's behind than when he has leads? And I said, the numbers indicate that he is more relaxed when he's behind than when he's ahead. That's when he struggled lately. But again, I mean, that's the one thing you have to battle as a reliever. Until you change those numbers, you're going to be labeled.
You're going to be in that role.
Yeah, exactly. But again, everything's sinking down and in, so you have to change your perspective of where your release point is. I mean, he's been real consistent, about what, 2-3 inches off the inside corner. They're both righties and lefties. Now, Alan Dunn is Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach. His father-in-law passed away, so he will not be back to Monday. And Alan works with him because he's the bullpen coach. Don Werner, the roving catching instructor, is, I think, out in the bullpen. So Allen's coming back and say, hey, wait a minute. Remember when we started staying closed? The arm gets up. Otherwise, everything gets side to side. The ball stays on the same plane. It doesn't sink. You can't throw strikes. Can't get your breaking ball over. And it's easier to get hit.
He's probably saying also you shouldn't start nibbling in an 0-0 count. You know, try to get the first pitch over for a strike, then maybe go to the nibbling. But right now he's trying to hit the corners with the first and second pitch, and he's behind 2-0.
Good point.
Adam Dunn. Willingham doesn't hit the ball the other way very much, so them holding the runner, the Orioles, doesn't make much of a difference in this situation. He pulls that one down the line. Fair ball into the corner, hitting near the 333 mark. Dunn to third, Willingham to second, and the Nationals have the tying run at third base immediately here in the 6th.
Yeah, leadoff walk, and then the 2-0 count. The dreaded 2-0 count to a guy that can pulverize the fastball.
Well, and he gets it up and in instead of maybe down and in. Check out the XMO, 500 frames per second. Shows you the bad location as Greg Zahn goes up to try to catch it. Josh was out on bereavement, Jim. His only sibling, his younger brother, was killed in a car accident.
Yeah, I read about that. That's a horrible story.
This kid has come back and been amazing.
He has more extra base hits than singles now. Doubles and home runs combined. And here's Josh Bard. And if you're Manny Acta, who would you rather have up in this situation than this switch hitting catcher?
Well, it's a perfect hitting situation because of the 1-1 Oriole lead. They're going to play the infield back, so you can get a run in without getting a base hit. As Matt Albers, who pitched last night, will get loose again.
I might even walk Bard to get to Belliard.
Well, they might be about to do that 2-0.
Not on purpose, though.
No, unintentional walk right here. You just pitch around him.
But I know you're only saying that.
Well, no, I'm saying that
serious.
because I've watched Belliard for the last couple of months. He will not cut down on his swing. He's not going to try to put the ball in play. He's going to try to hit a grand slam. And I'd rather try to face a guy trying to hit a home run and try to strike him out or get a double play.
Backhand stop by Zahn, 3-0.
And then, of course,
but Bard has been on fire.
Yeah, and if you're Dave Tremblay, you're saying, you know what, I have a struggling pitcher. He's going to struggle enough. And I don't, in the 5th inning, 6th inning, top of the 6th here. I don't want to put somebody on because even if they get a base hit here, will only be a run down. So that's another way of looking at it. But I don't think it really matters the way Brian Bass is struggling.
Anthony's.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where you got to aim it. Because you're trying to hit the corner, it's not. It's the variable chance deviation. Throw it for the middle. If you're throwing for the corner, it's a ball. Throw it for the middle, maybe it'll go to the corner.
But you said his sinker's his out pitch. But you can't throw your out pitch on pitch number 1. You have to get something over to get to your out pitch and start getting guys out.
3-1 and Bard out ahead of that one, and the count goes full.
So I mean, does he have a get me over 4-seamer? Can he throw a slider for strike 1?
Not too much. He's pretty much his best pitch is a fastball. He has a breaking ball. Doesn't command it well, but I think the advanced scouts would say he's more of a sinker ball type guy or a running fastball.
Bard will step out. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI walk tonight. Hitting nearly 400 in June with an on-base average just under 480. Three-2 pitch, and he stays with it.
And with 0 or 1 outs, hitting .365 coming into this game. That's pretty impressive.
It is. But you cannot try to pull that 93-mile-an-hour sinker. You see, keep hitting it into the ground right around home plate. You're going to have to try to take that into left center.
Orioles the lead on a 3-run Reimold homer in the bottom of the 5th. Nationals trying to answer immediately here, top 6. 3-2 again. Way outside, bases loaded, nobody out. Ronnie Belliard 0 for 2. There's been 1 visit to the mound tonight, and now another. Dave Trombley not showing much patience here with a quick hook in a 1-run game. Matt Albers pitched a scoreless 8th, giving up 2 hits and a walk last night. Got out of it with strikeouts to Dunn and Dukes. He'll face Ronnie Belliard when we come back. Of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles and Nationals. Beautiful sky on a Saturday night in Baltimore as we near the end of June. On a gorgeous night, teams trading punches here in the middle innings, and it'll be Ronnie Belliard against Matt Albers with the bases loaded, nobody out.
Can I do the honors? Ronnie Belliard 4 for his last 37. In his last 19, now 20 games played.
So he's due.
He's due.
Well, you know, you talked about Austin Kearns. All he had to do was get a base hit. He did. Albers at 0 for 2. Belliard against him. And of course, the Orioles are trying to keep it close, and the Nationals are taking advantage.
That was a good pitch to lay off for Belliard, who often first pitch swings. But tonight he's getting 3 or 4 at bats, so maybe a little more patient. It was a 3-2 pitch earlier when he hit into the double play.
Yeah, again, that running fastball that Matt had trouble with last night. So, and again, you talked about it, the 1 inning, but 2 hits and a base on balls. So again, now you're back in the same situation where you're trying to make good pitches and you're not. You just got to aim for the middle of the plate and hope that that movement. He is a sinker baller with a curve ball and a changeup.
Belliard rips one at the third baseman. Mora comes home and gets the force out. He was thinking double play, but he still got the lead runner.
Yeah, I think that's because he doesn't catch it cleanly.
He may have hurt his leg. He's grabbing at his right knee. This is a shot right here coming up. There you see 2 running fastballs on the inner half, and then 2-0 pitch. A little bit up in the zone. Good pitch. He hits a ground ball, which is what you're trying for. Moore couldn't come up with it, but he goes to home for the force. Still grabbing at that right knee.
Yep. That was a great angle on that replay, and you saw Zahn with Adam Dunn coming, catching that ball on the plate and then getting out of dodge.
Yeah, that was your Brooks Robinson impression, where you make sure that it doesn't go by you.
Here's Kearns, who's already driven in 1 run tonight.
It's not like you're rooting against Ronnie Belliard. You just, after his struggles, you'd like to see him try to make an adjustment, try to hit the ball the other way, you know, try to hit the ball up the middle.
You know who he reminds me of? The guy I saw who's now, I think, in San Francisco, Juan Uribe, who aired it out on every swing. And it works for a while. But again, pitchers adjust, and it, over the course of a career or a number of years, it just doesn't work.
Well, last year, Belliard hit 287.
Yeah. Right.
And he did go to right and right center quite a bit.
But he's upset. He's not starting it every day. He's not an everyday player. But you know what? You have to know your limitations. I talked to Eric Davis, and he knew he couldn't play every day at the end of his career. He played 17 years in the major leagues. Fabulous player.
Kearns to short. Can the Orioles turn it? Yes, they can. It was bases loaded, nobody out, and Baltimore still leads 4-3.
The corner of his eye, says, I got it. He just makes an amazing athletic play right here. He stabs at the ball over the shoulder. And there you see it. Unbelievable over-the-shoulder catch by Melvin Moore in the 5th inning. Your Coors Light Freeze Cam.
Yeah, you saw the smile on Andino. And then who's leading off? Melvin Moore against, we're calling him Julian or Julian? I mean,
yeah,
he changed
Julian.
it. Julian, because it was Julian when I think he was up in Boston for a while.
I think he's a little older, 17 years in the show, and so now I think it's Julian.
Well, I remember when he came up with Cleveland.
Yes.
Power arm.
Great setup for Mesa, yep. Jose Mesa, their closer, but many great years in Cleveland.
And a good slider there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tomorrow 0 for 2.
What, 1 earned run in his last 15 appearances, so he's the guy out of the bullpen.
And Mike McDougall's been pretty well himself, but he's just not getting very many save opportunities.
Well, you're not going to get a better opportunity than bases loaded, no outs.
Well, Nationals have had 5 at-bats tonight with the bases loaded and nobody out, and they have 2 RBIs to show for it on walks. That's kind of the story of the way that ball club has not been hitting well in situations lately.
Well, Ray Knight said it the other day. You got to think when you're walking up to the plate, or if you're a pitcher, you're walking up to the mound. What do I have to do right here to help the club? Not what can I do to help the name on the back?
Jim Johnson yet to appear in this series. And after Albers pitched last night and just got 3 huge outs, that may be a 1 inning for him. It's Morazan and Andino for the Orioles, bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, he picked up the entire Oriole ball club with that inning, able to come in and get 3 outs.
The breaking ball by Tavares, diving low and away, and we check in with Amber.
Well, Dave Tremblay confirmed today Koji Uehara will not make his scheduled start tomorrow against the Nationals. It is likely he will be put on the 15-day disabled list to give that elbow some time to heal. Now, who will get the start? Let's take a look at our M&T Bank pitching matchup. It's believed it will be David Hernandez for the Orioles. Now, it has not been officially announced, but we did see David walking around the park today, so it's not too hard to put 2 and 2 together. But once the move becomes official, once Koji goes on the disabled list, the Orioles will confirm that. He goes up against John Lannon for the Nationals. Bob?
Thank you, Amber. Will that be a rubber game of the series, or will the Orioles be going for the sweep?
Well, I like John Lannon. I still remember the 2-1 victory he had over the Orioles. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. That can pitch. How about that earned run average? 3.44 runs.
He has definitely become our ace. Another hit by Greg Zahn. Great night for him. Already a home run.
You know, Rob, I told him
8 for his last 12.
I told him, I said, you know, he was hitting 118 early on, and as you mentioned, maybe joking around, said I was overexposed. I had to play. Had to play too much. I told him, I said, the good news, you can't stay at 118. Not if you keep playing, because it's almost impossible. It's got to go up.
Well, and to finish that story about Eric Davis, at the end of his career, after he battled colon cancer and everything, he knew he couldn't play 140, 150 games a year, but he knew he could contribute. And maybe the last 3-4 years, he had some great years with some ball clubs, and it was more of a contribution. But, you know, he didn't complain, he didn't mope. He was a great professional ball player, and that's what you have to do as you get older.
Zimmerman charging. Well done, as he loses his balance while making the throw, and he'll get a big second out for Washington's on down to second base.
Yeah, how many points does he get for this dive?
Well, last night that ball would have bounced over his head, but tonight it's buried in front of the plate. Ryan Zimmerman makes a great play and then falls over the mound, but nice job right there by Adam Dunn, who's getting a start over first base tonight. Nick Johnson getting a night off with a bad foot, a bad shin. I told him before the game, Bob and Jim, I said, you know what, Nick, I think they're going to just start hitting every part of your body so you can't hit off the pitchers anymore. And he just laughed.
What if he was a racehorse? They bring out the curtain and give him a lethal injection.
Yeah, they'd have to put him down.
Yeah.
Not our Nick.
Not Nick.
Here's Brian Roberts having a very unusual series. He's 0 for 7 with 1 walk and 4 strikeouts.
And then he got robbed the last time. Gonzalez making a terrific play.
And Josh Willingham made the good pick on his foul ball on the first pitch that Chiron Martis threw. That ball stayed down for Adam Dunn. Orioles are done in the 6th inning. On to the 7th. It's Baltimore 4, Washington 3. many U.S. flags. Sunday, family fun day featuring pregame autographs and postgame. The kids get to run the bases. 888-632-NATS, nationals.com, or stop by the box office at the ballpark out in left field, and you can buy your tickets anytime. Top 7, still a one-run game, and hard-throwing right-hander Jim Johnson is next for the Orioles.
Yeah, on his birthday, he comes in with a one-run lead. He does have a great sinker coming off a good road trip. He just turned 26 today, 6'5". Born in New York, lives down in Sarasota. Wants to be a carpenter if he didn't play baseball. Handy around the house, and handy to, if you're Dave Tremble and you want to bring him in.
3 scoreless innings in the Interleague Series at Nationals Park last month.
Well, he's got a big curveball and a changeup that he's probably using a little bit more because it does slow the bats down.
That's the swing we're used to seeing from Alberto Gonzalez as he goes up the middle. Tying runs aboard, leading off to 7th. Washington now leadoff man aboard 5 out of 7 innings tonight.
Yeah, Johnson doesn't want to be there, and of course Gonzalez takes advantage of it and wants to be down in the strike zone.
But at the beginning of the year, he would have been swinging for the downs. He would have missed that pitch. But now he's cut down.
Well, that's
to drive that ball up the middle. And they do teach you a lot down the minor leagues. And, you know, adjusting the attitude to what kind of player you may become is part of it. And he has just been flat out very impressive, Bob, since he came back.
Yes, he has. And really good defensively. Willie Harris 1 for 3 tonight. Harris bounces a double play ball, and the Nats are doubling themselves to death tonight. That's the 3rd of the night. And the other 2 came with the bases loaded.
Well, I think early in the count, it really comes down to, especially if you're a hot hitter, do you want to swing at a pitcher's pitch? And that's what this is. Good sinker, tailor-made, 4-6-3. And Dino has been an all-star fielding shortstop for the Orioles since Turris has been out. He's been that good. And right here, just tailor-made. Harris chases Johnson's pitch, rolls over, perfect double play ball.
All 3 Orioles pitchers who've retired a hitter have registered a double play in the ballgame. Here's Guzman, 2 for 3. Batting average up at .337. He has his 8th multi-hit game in his last 10.
And it's an easy 95 to 96.
So you've been using him all kinds of roles. Couple innings here.
Well, he was usually last year. He was the 8th inning guy.
Set up that, yeah.
Guzman tries to pull that tailing fastball. Bad throw by Roberts. Dug out by Huff, and it's 7th inning stretch time. It's brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly.
Joel has more of an upside, and he's younger, so expect Colomé to be designated for assignment. Bob?
Thank you, Debbie Taylor. Big news for the Nationals bullpen as we approach the bottom of the 7th here at Camden Yards. Well, both of those pitchers have struggled mightily. Hanrahan probably slightly more struggling than Colomade lately. Here's Tavares for a second inning facing Jones, Markakis, and Huff.
Well, he certainly hasn't struggled. Talking about Tavares.
That ball is jacked to center. Willie Harris is after it, and he'll run it down.
Wow.
That's indicative of the center field he's played for the Nationals for the last week and a half.
That ball was hit, and then that ball was run down. That was a pretty good play. Willie Harris gets on his horse right there, gets after it.
And the walls come on you pretty quick here in this ballpark, Jim.
That really is. And, you know, I mean, probably the toughest field to play here is left field. When Johnny Oates, the late Johnny Oates, managed here, he moved Brady Anderson. He said, you know, you're my best outfielder. I'm going to put you in left. And he did. And Maniacta, after that great catch by Harris, out to make a pitching change.
Yeah, he wants a left-hander with Nick Markakis. It's Joe Beimel.
To be exact, but Guthrie will walk the bases loaded twice. 2-1 on Zahn's third home run of the year. And then right here, Raimo, the 5th inning, 3-run home run off of Martis to give him the lead. And then, boy, it's been seesaw baseball ever since. Raimo coming in. The two best pitchers for the Nationals. We've seen him over the last couple of innings. Tavares has been very hot, and Beimel's been pitching great, Rob.
And it's been very difficult to get Beimel in safe situations, to be the bridge for McDougal, as Bob said. When you're behind all the time, they're working odd innings. They're working behind the lead all the time. And Beimel's done an exceptional job. As you said, Julian Tavares has done a great job. Valone is getting a little bit tired the last few outings, but he's done a great job. It's difficult to pitch in that situation all the time, but Beimel's been amazing.
And he was one of the best left-handers in the National League for 3 years with the Dodgers. And when we look closer at his statistics from those 3 seasons, he pitched a lot against right-handed batters.
Well, he's got a great curveball, a great changeup. He throws across his body. I don't know how many lefties want to really stay in there, but Markakis and Huff are two of the best at hitting lefties. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Throws across his body. You see him land towards first base and then hit the outside part of the plate.
And he stands on the third base. He reminds me of Jamie Moyer. He's on the third base side, so he's not really stepping that much at you. So it gives him a good angle to the right-handed hitters. That's what Jamie Moyer always talked. He moved from first base to third base. And again, you know, he's way over on this side, and that's again the angle of what, about 6-8 inches across his body with as far as where your front foot lands. We haven't even seen the curveball yet, have we?
Now you're there.
Yeah, there it is. Saw that in Washington when the Orioles were over there earlier in the year.
But he just looks like a reliever, too.
Well, he looks like he's come out on a hiking trip.
Out of the woods?
Yeah.
My wife likes that look. She does. She likes Joe.
Oh, he seems like a very likable guy. I had a chance to talk to him over in Washington.
That breaking ball got out over the plate, and Markakis had to pull the trigger. With a 2-strike count, Willingham has it, 2 outs. It'll be Aubrey Huff now.
Remember Ron Peranowski?
Absolutely.
Because it's an interesting thing about slow breaking balls. It appears that, hey, just look for it. It's kind of big and looping. So I used to watch Peranowski, and I go, why don't you just look for that? Then I got to hit off him. It was big, but it was going straight down. I mean, it's hard to that a ball can break that much, and still Cuellar had one. The big overhand curveball of Camilo Pascual, who started
Mike
with the Washington.
Who pitched here for many years, had a knuckle curve that he.
But the spin is just incredible.
And I've had hitters tell me the pitch may not be coming in that fast, but it is spinning real fast.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the strength. I mean, Cuellar could take a ball and actually just kind of, snap his fingers and flip the ball up, and incredibly strong forearms and hands.
Dexterity.
Yeah.
Aubrey Huff jacks one to right. That ball is out of here, and the Orioles continue to hit home runs. All of their runs driven in with a long ball tonight. It's 5-3 Baltimore.
Well, the opposite of last night when they put 11 on the board and don't get a home run. Talked about how Huff, lifetime. I mean, this is a guy that led the American League in extra base hits last year. 82 of them.
Now he's hitting about 280 lifetime off of lefties, right?
Yep. It's getting closer to that now.
That's just crazy. 275, 280.
And evidently it doesn't have to be Ron Vallone, any Nationals left-hander to the liking of Aubrey Huff.
Well, I asked him today, I said, are you aware of your numbers against the Ron Vallone? He said, no. Do I hit him well? And I said, well, I think you were 6 for 11. I mean, I had guys that wore me out, Carew, Brett, people like that. I knew it. I didn't know the exact numbers. Well, the one thing about Aubrey, he's pretty relaxed.
Yes, he looks very relaxed.
I mean, he's not a, Alfred E. Newman, what me worry, or one of those type of guys. Right. But he's close to it. And Bob, he's one of those guys where if you ask him what's going well or why you're hitting, he goes, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same with pitchers. You don't want to know because you don't want to jinx it. Bring yourself bad luck, bad karma.
2 balls and 1 strike to Reimold with a big blow of this game, a 3-run homer that turned a 3-1 Washington lead into a 4-3 Baltimore advantage 2 innings ago.
Well, Bob, didn't they have the lead when you came on?
I'm going to be leaving in a moment, Jim. You can talk about me after I'm gone.
But when Jim Hunter was here, we did score some runs. And we haven't been able to score any runs.
This has not been lost on Jim and I. We've talked about this. He called Adam Dunn's 6 RBIs in Washington, and I called the Orioles' 8-run inning here last night. Something strange is going on.
It's not the battle of the Beltway. It's the battle of the play-by-play.
Yeah, we're good. You guys are struggling.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Bob.
Aubrey Huff goes deep, and the Orioles lead 5-3.
He comes in, first guy he faces with the bases loaded after Brian Bass is belly yard. Melvin Moore can't get a handle on it, but does get the force play. And then right here, really good pitch right there to Austin Kearns. The Orioles turned the double play. It wasn't easy.
AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
And Ryan Zimmerman tried to deliver a home run on that swing right there. Again, Jimmy Johnson better down in the strike zone. He was in the launch mode.
Zimmerman done in Willingham. 3 consecutive home run threats. The Nationals now trail by a couple as the Orioles try to make it back-to-back wins. And there's a bloop to right field. Marquez charging in, won't get there, plays it on a hop.
There's a couple of hits for Mr. Kearns tonight. Actually, that's Ryan Zimmerman, sorry. But he's another guy that needs to get off the schneid. Get a few bloopers and
doinks.
He's got to get the confidence back.
Well, it's an important inning, obviously, for both the Nationals and the Orioles. The Nationals want to try to get either even or take the lead, and the Orioles want to get to George Sherrill, who's 11 for his last 11. And the Oriole closer.
Adam Dunn now takes inside. Orioles again have the shift on against Adam Dunn.
Well, this is it right here. When you get the 3, 4, 5 guys in your lineup, Willingham's been on fire. And then behind Willingham, you got Bard, who's been on fire. If they don't do it right here, it's going to be hard to manufacture a couple of runs against Sherrill.
Lead-off runner on 6 out of the 8 innings tonight. And you don't get that close pitch.
But give the Orioles pitchers credit for working out of a jam. I mean, Bass got into trouble, loads the bases on a couple of walks and a hit. And Albers comes in, he gets the ground ball on Belliard, then he gets the ground ball on Kearns. That's doing the job out of the bullpen.
Guthrie pitched in and out of trouble all night long.
Welcome back ground ball, and Dino has it. He'll go to second for 1 just in time to get the hustling Zimmerman. Tough play for Andino. He had to battle the bat and the ball, and he gets the lead runner 1 down. Well, tomorrow, the finale of the series. First 20,000 fans 15 and over at the game starting at 1:35. Receive an Orioles cap presented by DAP. And all kids 14 and under can run the bases after the game. Tickets start as low as $9. 888-848-BIRD or online Orioles.com. It's amazing how many of those barrels of the bats on broken bats have been flying all the way out towards the fielders this past week.
Well, you have shorter, lighter bats trying to get more bat speed, and if you don't center the ball, it's hard to do it on Johnson because of the movement, the late movement on that sinker. And that was a good hitting situation for Adam Dunn. Balls kind of ran down and away, got on the end of the bat, and there you get the breakature of the bat.
You need to score a couple of runs here. Would you pinch run for Dunn?
Well, that's not a bad idea. You know, it's not the National League. There's that late sinker that comes in against Willingham, who's got 2 hits tonight. But it's not a bad idea because you don't have to worry about losing position players.
You got Elijah Dukes on the bench. You got Anderson Hernandez. Got a lot of speed on the bench.
1-1 the count following the always typical 6-5 force play up the middle.
Yeah, a lot of double plays tonight.
Well, again, Andino, you know, whether he's playing second base in the shift or whatever, has played so well at shortstop because that was because of the bat. And again, they not only get the out, to get the lead runner. The double play in order here.
Ground ball towards third. Melvin Moore to his left, goes to second 1, back to first, will not be in time. That was a tough play all around because Melvin was guarding the line, gloved it, threw high to Brian Roberts, got the pivot, but couldn't get it there in time. 2 down.
Well, but they do get the lead runner. Willingham hits a smash once again. Moore going to his left, takes the force out, get 1. And then Roberts tries to sidestep 6'6", 275. And can't get Willingham.
Yeah, Paul Bunyan coming down the line.
Can you imagine he was going to start at quarterback at Texas?
Really?
Yeah, done.
Of course, if you're that big,
all-world high school quarterback down in Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
2 down. Here's Bard.
I think it was Major Applewhite.
High fly ball left center field. Charging in is Jones. And he'll get there for the out. So the leadoff hit. And a man left. Middle of the 8th at Oriole Park. Battle of the Beltways. The Orioles with a 5-3 lead. Albers getting out of a bases loaded nut out situation. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862. And to bring you the best, there's our Exmo camera. There's Neil, and he has on his official Masson batting helmet just in case there's a check swing and a foul ball right at him. That's the dedication of the Masson crew.
And go home on his motorcycle. Doesn't even have to change hats. It's perfect.
Mike McDougall comes on to pitch here in the 8th inning.
Pretty good numbers right there. There you go. Well, he came up early on, his best year. Back made his All-Star appearance his first year back in 2003. I just remember he threw close to 100 miles per hour and had some finger problems, elbow problems along the line.
Well, this year he's stranded all his inherited runners, 4 with the Nationals, but lefties hitting 346 off of them. Righties 194. Last pitched against Boston on Wednesday. Perfect inning. And he has been very solid since being brought back up to the big leagues.
Luke Scott will lead off. Orioles look for an insurance run to make it a bit easier for George Sherrill, who will likely come on in the 9th.
McDougall's going to come right at you. 95, 96, 97. He'll throw in that range. Occasionally throw a breaking ball, but mostly I'd say 90% fastballs.
Then you have that big curveball.
Got a big curveball, but I think guys are probably not going to react too much to the curveball. They'll go after that fastball.
Woo. 1-1 to count on Scott, who has struck out twice and walked. Mora on deck, then Zahn in the 8th inning. And the Nationals will have the lower third of their lineup coming up in the 9th. On one side, 2-1. This is an amazing game. The Orioles had gone 3 straight games without a home run. Had hit only 1 home run over the last 5 games. And tonight they've hit 3, accounting for all 5 of the runs. Zahn and Huff with solo home runs, and Nolan Reimold's 3-run shot, which gave the Orioles the lead. 2-1 is high, ball 3.
Well, if you're a National fan, you know what Mike McDougall's job is. Keep it right there. And if you keep it within 2 runs, then George Sherrill, first guy gets on, time runs comes to the plate. So the Orioles want to make it a little bit easier.
3-1 is low, ball 4, and there's the dreaded leadoff walk when you're trying to do just that. So the Orioles now can play for an insurance run here in the 8th inning. The Orioles' wives will be hosting a silent auction on Monday and Tuesday during the Orioles Red Sox games here at Camden Yards. The auction will take place at Gate D starting at 5:30 and will continue through the end of the 7th inning. Now, the proceeds of Monday's auction will benefit the University of Maryland Hospital for Children, and the proceeds on Tuesday will honor Maryland native and former Angels pitcher Nick Adenhart to benefit the Nick Adenhart Memorial Fund. For more details, 888-848-BIRD or online at OriolesReach.com. Felix P.A. now will pinch run to get more speed on there. Orioles looking for an insurance run, and Melvin Mora takes a strike. Melvin 0 for 3, struck out his last at bat. Orioles have 8 hits tonight after getting 16 last night. 1-1. A win by the Orioles would increase their interleague record to 11-6. And they're trying to put together a winning month. They would also move within a game of 500 in June. They would be 11-12 this month.
And they would also go to 13 of 17 against National League teams at Camden Yards in interleague play. So
obviously not all this year.
No,
Dave
but
Tremblay, yeah, Dave Tremblay knows also when this weekend ends, you're back for at least for a while. You got 3 games against the Red Sox, and then you got to, you're in and out of Baltimore, going to Anaheim and going to Seattle, and then you come back. Play Toronto, then the All-Star break, and then you get a 9-day trip to Chicago, New York, and Boston. So win as many games as you can.
The Orioles have won 4 of their interleague series and lost the one in Florida when they were swept by the Marlins. So a win here tonight assures that they will have won 5 of their 6 series through the NL East in the interleague play. One and 2 on Mora, battling Mike McDougal. Ground ball towards the hole. Diving stop by Belliard. Throws to second and out at second base. What a play, not only to get to the ball, but then to get the lead runner at second base. 1 down.
So struggling with the bat, Rob, but certainly picking it.
Yeah, pick it in the field. If you're not doing it with the bat, Belliard will be leading off next inning. Right there, you see him spin, take at least the fastest guy off the base paths. Pinch runner Felix PA, and at least they reduced that number.
1 down. Here's Greg Zahn. Ground ball towards the hole the other way, and this one gets through. And Greg Zahn has a 3-hit game.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's been around long enough to know, hey, that's how Tony Gwynn did it. 5.5 hole. 2 of those tonight. He tricked him early on. He hit one on the foul pole for his 3rd home run, and then you're going to pitch me away. That's where I'll hit it. He's had a pretty good night. He's also been able to help the Oriole pitchers get out of some serious jams tonight.
Absolutely. That veteran leadership behind the plate, doing his best to get the most out of the pitchers. But like you said, I mean, he's been a clinic at the plate. Doesn't get a lot of playing time. You got the new rookie sensation Wieters in there almost every day, and he contributes with 3 hits.
Well, it may be a coincidence, maybe not, but over his last 5 games, he is now 9 for 13.
Makes the most of his playing time. That'll keep you in the big leagues.
Here's Andino, and he takes a strike.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Greg Zahn was talking about, as we look at Robert Andino, he was talking yesterday. He said, because of my uncles, Pat and Rick Dempsey, and of course Demper played in the big leagues 24 years. He said, I came to the big leagues probably, or at least into professional ball at 18, knowing how to catch. It's the hitting problem that's always been the difficult thing. And tonight that hasn't been a problem.
One line towards the middle. There's a base hit. Belliard was able to freeze Melvin Mora momentarily, so Melvin has to be held at 3rd by Juan Samuel. And the Orioles have the bases loaded with 1 down.
Yeah, Melvin's job is not to get doubled up. Even if the ball gets through for a base hit, you know the bases are going to be loaded.
So Mora goes to 3rd, Zahn to 2nd, and Andino is on at 1st with 1 down. And here's Brian Roberts, who is without a doubt due. He is 0 for 4 tonight and 0 for his last 14.
Yeah, 0 for 4 last night. I mean, how about winning 11-1 and one of the best leadoff guys in baseball having what for him is an off night. That 0 for 4 last night.
Outside 1-0. Tonight he was robbed by Gonzalez in the 5th inning on an amazing diving grab. There's been some spectacular defense played tonight on both sides. No errors in this game. High fly ball slicing foul down the left field line, and that'll be back in the crowd.
Well, Roberts had come into interleague play tonight. 150 games, 304 lifetime batting average with 9 home runs. So he's very respectable in interleague play. Well, Nationals concentrated on just one guy in the lineup. Might want to go down the lineup a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good idea. They only circle Brian.
Ball and a strike on him. Bases loaded, 1 down. Foul back and a good cut. It is amazing how humbling this game is and how quickly it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Brian found his stroke on the road trip. He came home 8 for 23, a 348 clip, feeling really good about his swing, and now he's 0 for 8 in the series with a walk.
And Adam Jones was 0 for 13. What'd you say? He's hitting 203 in June, and he's hitting the heck out of the ball against us the last couple of nights. Couple of hits tonight, and even that Willie Harris ball that he robbed against the wall was another ball that was smoked.
Ball and 2 strikes on Roberts. And it's a little low. Good eye and a good tape. 2-2.
Peaks and valleys.
Oh, yeah.
Now, were you into biorhythms and stuff like that when you played?
What are biorhythms?
Biorhythms are like, you know, your body waves and stuff like that. There are people that would read that stuff for me.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, horoscopes.
Yeah, but see, you were a reliever. You were, you know.
I was very flaky.
The phone would ring and they go, "It's your turn. Come on." And you'd jump up and put on the cape and go get them.
2-2 is too tight. 3-2.
There's more of a rhythm to start it.
Starter.
Yeah, you know, you
doing crossword puzzles, reading books.
And then you know, my biorhythms were Earl Weaver. That's that was the up and down. His nickname was Mickey Rooney. Having Mickey Rooney put you out there every fourth day.
Bases loaded. 3-2. 1 down. And Roberts skies it to left. Not that deep. Willingham setting up. Mora will tag. Here comes Mora. Here comes the throw. It is off the plate and Mora scores. There's a sac fly and an RBI and a big insurance run for the Orioles as Roberts drives in Mora.
That's a Mora, not only an RBI, but a moral victory. Boy, is it great when they get a runner to third with less than 2 outs and you get the job done. Really difficult for McDougald, especially when the count goes to 3-2.
Well, Josh Willingham had time to surround that ball. He does catch it flat-footed and not a lot on the throw into the catcher. As we talked about with Adam Jones, sometimes, and Andy Van Slyke said it when Bob was in here. Jimmy said, listen, you know, the hardest part of the catch is before the catch. You got to surround it, try to get some momentum coming home. He had enough time. It's just not that really would have saved the game, but
makes it closer. Yeah, and it's funny. Melvin Mora took a look at Juan Samuel, the Orioles' third base coach. Like, okay, do I have the right read? Am I going? And Juan said yes. Tag up and get going.
2 down now. Here's Adam Jones. Fouls it back. Adam, a 2-for-4 night, including an infield hit after a 3-hit game last night. So the Orioles leader in multi-hit games has added another. He now has 29 multi-hit efforts.
And then McDougald kind of illustrating that it's not about velocity. He's been up as high as 98. He's not making as many quality pitches as he would like.
0-1 with 2 men down. Zahn the lead runner, and Dino is the trail runner at first. Ground ball towards second. Right there's Belliard, plays it in between. Houghton gets it to first, and the inning is over. But the Orioles scratch out an insurance run on 2 hits, and George Sherrill coming on for the save. By Firestone, a tradition of innovation. And by Honda, you can depend on your Honda dealer for great leases and low financing. Lovely night at the ballpark and a nice shot of the moon. And here is George Sherrill, who has been as about automatic, Jim, as you can get, going all the way back to early May.
Well, they said you can't Again, he's given up 1 run and 7 hits over his last 19 appearances, 11-11 for in the save things. And it was kind of when Dave Tremblay, because he was struggling against right-handed batters. We told you last night. I mean, their lefties are 3 for 33. That's 091. That's never been a problem. But he changed his windup, kind of got a little bit more close. Now all he has to do is lift up his leg, bring the arm up a little bit, more tilt on his pitches, better command. And the one thing, and Rob, you don't get to see him as much as I do, but he's starting to throw some changeups. So he's been pretty much around everything, cut fastball, curveball. Now all of a sudden an occasional changeup. Something else to look for.
So he's repeating delivery and he's more consistent.
Yeah. And I think the velocity's gone from about 88 in spring training. The ball not coming out of his hand, and that changed when he made the windup. And also Dave Tremblay, the Orioles skipper, said, hey, we may have to go to somebody else. Not automatic.
That'll change you in a hurry.
It's just trying to encourage him.
Right.
Gets ahead of Belliard, 0-1. Kearns on deck. And then Alberto Gonzalez here in the 9th inning for the Nationals. Foul back. Jim Johnson did a very good job in the 8th because the heart of the lineup came up at the time. The Nats down by 2. And after allowing the leadoff single to Zimmerman, he did not allow a run. So now in the 9th inning down by 3, it's the lower third of the Nationals lineup.
You still have to get him out.
0-2 the count on Belliard. Fouls it back.
Kind of an interesting article in the Washington Post talking about they went up to Ryan Zimmerman with the passing of Michael Jackson, and he said, it's kind of un-American if you don't like Michael Jackson's music. And they asked Ronnie Belliard, and he said, well, my mom bought me a red jacket just like Michael Jackson when I was a kid, and I guess he used to wear it around.
0-2 pitch is popped up, center of the diamond. Sherrill getting out of the way. Here comes Mora. And to the left of the pitcher's mound, he has it for the out, 1 away in the 9th inning. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game as voted on by the fans. And Nolan Reimold with a 3-run home run leading with 57%, 26% for Greg Zaun, Matt Albert 17%. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard. Still time, A, B, or C to 51862. And Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra postgame.
Yeah, I don't think I'd split the vote tonight. Now, if you're Earl Weaver, you love Reimold because of a 3-run home run. But I'll tell you, how about the double play by Albers turned this game around.
Absolutely.
And Greg Zaun with 3 hits, a home run, got him on the board and did a terrific.
Guthrie from melting down the first 5
minutes.
Oh,
yes. Especially in the first. Got him out of the first inning with a double play to Belliard.
And the double play by Albers also prevented the Nationals from scoring, which means Guthrie is still the pitcher of record. And the bullpen, they love to be able to hold the lead for the starter after he leaves.
And the starter loves to have them hold it.
Yes, he does. Sitting next to a reliever and a starter, and they each nodding their heads yes in the different perspectives.
Absolutely. It's your job. He's worked his butt off. You want to save the game for him.
You don't like my rear end? Come on. What do you mean? Come on, Rob.
Every time I go to the pub there in Crystal City, I see you in your underwear.
You got to go to another pub.
1-2, breaking ball, swing and a miss. He got him. What a pitch. Not only good breaking, good dip, but it came in very off speed. And 2 men down.
Well, I think what happens is when you change your windup, you're able to be more consistent. So, again, a curveball, such a field pitch, and he just starts it off the outside corner, a little back door. And the key to this at bat, of course, is getting ahead of Austin Kearns. And Kearns has been in a slump, but he did get a big hit earlier in the ballgame for the Nationals.
Here's Alberto Gonzalez, who has 1 hit on the night. He singled in the 7th against Jim Johnson, takes ball 1.
Well, you can really see him close that front foot, kind of close up the hip, throws it across his body, but he is more efficient.
Well, every hitter I talk to, especially the lefties, and we mentioned 3 for 31, they say deception. Not always about the velocity. Do you pick the ball up? And I think also, from what I've been able to observe, pitching is also location. And since he's made these little adjustments, the location's been better. Finish on his pitches has been better. And then he's added the changeup.
1-1 is a little low, 2-1. I'll tell you, the fans the last 2 nights have really been into these games. They have been fantastic.
Well, we're hoping that, because that'll change when the Red Sox come into town.
Hey, at least we gave you more of a battle today. Yesterday it was kind of a beatdown.
2-1 pitch, broken back ground ball to third. Mora charges, throws on the run. He gets it there, and the Orioles have won. Birds have taken the first 2 games back-to-back wins in this series as Sherrill earns the save. Final score at Oriole Park in the Battle of the Beltways, Orioles 6 and the Nationals 3.